Welcome to Tales in the Dark. I know many of you enjoy relaxing with these videos, so I recommend turning down the volume until my voice is barely audible. It'll make the experience even more soothing. Before you close your eyes, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and enjoy listening. Story 1. On a misty evening, as I secured my apartment, a peculiar door caught my eye, hidden behind an ancient bookshelf. Its cold, unyielding surface exuded a subtle, mysterious hum that beckoned me closer. The air was heavy with the scent of forgotten memories, drawing me in with an irresistible force. Raindrops tapped gently against my window, creating a calming rhythm as I stood before this enigmatic portal. Crafted from ancient wood, the door bore intricate shifting patterns that seemed to tell a silent tale when touched. My fingertips traced the curves and grooves, deciphering a language unknown to me. The soft light from my reading lamp danced across the door, casting mesmerizing shadows that blurred the boundaries of time. Lost in the play of light and shadow, I swayed slightly, lulled by the peaceful ambience. The usual sounds of my home faded into a soothing whisper, leaving only the door before me. Despite its lack of handle or hinges, the door emitted a gentle warmth that enveloped me like a summer breeze. The carved designs morphed into familiar shapes in my mind, echoes of ocean waves and bird flights. The scent around the door shifted subtly, evolving from musty to earthy and floral, each breath revealing new layers of fragrance, vanilla, old books, and a hint of starlight. Nestled in my armchair, cocooned in a blanket, I watched as moonlight painted silver patterns on the door's surface. The humming now formed a delicate melody, a nostalgic lullaby felt deep within. Time slipped away as I gazed at the door, noticing subtle movements in its patterns and transient glimpses of unknown realms. Fear was absent, replaced by wonder and tranquility. With the approaching dawn, a remarkable sight unfolded. The space beneath the door revealed fleeting images of grass, silver sand, and even distant stars. In the morning light, I pondered the door's mystery, realizing that its purpose transcended mere physical exploration. It had transformed my home into a realm where reality blended with magic, where the extraordinary dwelled alongside the ordinary. Some nights, when sleep eludes me, I sit by the door, listening to its gentle hum, content in its enigmatic presence. The shifting patterns and ethereal sounds remind me of the beauty in unanswered questions, the peace found in embracing the unknown. The door to nowhere has led me to a place of profound appreciation for the mysteries of life, a sanctuary of wonder and tranquility. Perhaps its true destination is not a location, but a state of mind where magic and mystery intertwine harmoniously. And in this realization, I have discovered that some journeys are more enriching when the destination remains a beautiful enigma. Story 2. As the day drew to a close, I entered the elevator in my building, expecting solitude but finding a solitary figure in the far corner. They stood still, eyes fixed on the closed doors. The elevator hummed softly, a chill in the air that sent shivers down my spine. A sense of purpose lingered around this mysterious passenger, veiled in shadows. The machinery whirred gently as I selected my floor, the dim light casting a golden hue that deepened the shadows in the corners. Cloaked in darkness, my companion remained enigmatic, a silhouette blending seamlessly with the shadows. Though their features eluded me, their presence felt oddly familiar. As we rose, the temperature plummeted steadily. Thin layers of condensation adorned the metal walls, forming intricate patterns that glistened in the light. A scent hung in the air, a blend of aged books and autumn leaves, stirring memories long forgotten. Each breath I took felt deliberate, as if unveiling a hidden truth in this peculiar encounter. The floor numbers lit up one by one, their amber glow dancing on the damp walls. Yet the sequence felt askew. We passed floor 3, then 7, then 2, an order that defied logic. I blinked, trying to clear my vision, but the irregularity persisted. The stranger remained unperturbed, as if time itself bowed to their will. My watch had ceased its movement, frozen at 6:47, despite my departure from work long after dusk. The elevator's ascent felt weightless, transitions between floors marked by subtle vibrations. Mechanical noises morphed into a melodic symphony, akin to distant wind chimes. My reflection in the polished doors revealed only myself, the stranger's absence, a mysterious void. Yet their presence lingered, a silent observer. With each passing moment, the air thickened with unspoken tales and unseen truths. Tracing the handrail, my fingers discovered faint engravings, foreign yet familiar languages etched in the metal. They spoke of patience, of vigilance, of countless voyages through this vertical passage. The stranger shifted, revealing hands as pale and delicate as morning mist, clutching an old brass key that shimmered in the dim light. It resembled the key I had found in my grandfather's study, now weighing heavily in my pocket. A touch to my key sparked flickers in the elevator lights, synchronized with my heartbeat. The stranger's key emitted a soft glow, pulsating in harmony. The space between us crackled with potential as we journeyed through impossible floors. The silence grew profound, pregnant with a shared secret yet to be unveiled. Time ebbed and flowed, the elevator's movement barely perceptible, suspending us in a moment beyond time. Frost patterns on the walls wove intricate stories, whispering of forgotten truths. The stranger's presence no longer unsettled me, but felt like a fragment of a distant memory surfacing. My key warmed, merging with my skin, blurring the line between object and self. The display above the door remained fixed on a cryptic symbol that defied comprehension. Synced with my breath, the stranger's exhales echoed my own. Amidst the enigmatic numbers and the weight of the key, realization dawned upon me. This elevator ride transcended mere transportation. It was a convergence of destinies intertwined across time. The stranger's purpose became clear, guiding me towards a door unknown to me before. When the doors slid open, revealing a floor-defying architectural logic, a corridor bathed in ethereal light beckoned. With the stranger leading the way, keys in hand, I followed, the warmth of my key a compass in this surreal realm. That night, my intended destination faded into the background as I traversed the corridor of light with the enigmatic stranger. Sometimes, in the quiet of evenings, I ride the elevator in hopes of our paths crossing again. And at times, when the light dances on the walls, frost patterns whisper of that night, of the stranger who revealed that some doors lead to places existing between known floors. Story 3. As I strolled alone down a deserted road, my path led me to a weathered bridge stretching over a tranquil creek. The soft murmur of the flowing water surrounded me, whispering faintly from below. The night air carried the earthy scent of damp moss, enticing me closer, urging me to uncover the secrets of the past. This bridge had endured through generations, its planks worn smooth by countless travelers. Bathed in the moon's silvery glow, I noticed the intricate carvings on its aging railings, delicate swirls that seemed to come alive, dancing in the shifting light. Moisture hung heavy in the air as I approached the bridge's center, where the whispers grew stronger. I reached out, my hand resting on the damp wood, connecting with the ancient structure. The murmurs sharpened, though still muffled, like eavesdropping on a conversation through layers of velvet. Their melodic tones rose and fell in harmony with the creek's gentle rhythm below. Matching my breath to their cadence, I swayed slightly, caught in an enchanting dance. The rustling leaves added their own melody to the symphony, casting intricate shadows on the worn planks. Among the wooden slats, I noticed small treasures trapped, old coins worn smooth by time, each holding faded memories of their past owners. When I touched them, a subtle warmth pulsed through me, as if the coins whispered their stories. Kneeling down, I discovered markings etched into the bridge's beams, names, dates, and mysterious symbols, some freshly carved, others nearly melded with the wood's natural grain. My fingers traced the engravings, and with each touch, the whispers shifted, as if acknowledging my presence. Below, the creek had sculpted smooth stones over centuries, their dark surfaces glistening like obsidian in the night. The water moved in gentle swirls, creating mesmerizing eddies that seemed to spin endlessly. Leaves caught in these whirlpools traced perfect circles, trapped in a dance of perpetual motion. The patterns, I realized, were not random but purposeful, hinting at hidden meanings. Time lost its hold as I stood there, listening. The whispers narrated tales of bygone travelers, merchants bearing exotic wares, clandestine lovers meeting under the night's veil, elderly villagers on their final journey home. Each story seamlessly blended into the next, carried by the creek's murmurs. Though the voices never grew louder or clearer, their essence seeped into my soul like water into parched soil. Beneath the bridge, small lights began to gather, not harsh artificial beams, but the gentle glow of fireflies, dancing in mysterious patterns. Their luminescence reflected on the water's surface, forming constellations mirroring the night sky. Yet upon closer inspection, their reflections differed, as if unveiling a hidden realm above. The air filled with the fragrance of night-blooming flowers, unseen but intoxicating, mingling with the earthy aroma of wood and water. Each breath drew me deeper into the bridge's enigma. Time slipped away unnoticed, my watch frozen in a moment beyond time's grasp. The moon shone steadily, casting its ethereal light on the scene, as if suspending this encounter in a timeless realm. Objects materialized on the railing beside me, a tarnished button, a faded ribbon, a river stone with cryptic carvings. They appeared without explanation, each new addition warming my palm, stirring the whispers before subsiding. With the sky gradually brightening, the whispers softened, growing distant. The coins nestled between the planks seemed to meld with the wood, their edges blurring into the bridge's essence. The fireflies faded, leaving behind only a faint memory of their intricate dances. As I readied to depart, the objects on the railing vanished, leaving no trace of their presence except for a single coin untouched by time. Placing it between the planks, I felt a sense of closure, a whispered acceptance, before the murmurs faded into the flowing water's song. Glancing back once, I saw the bridge as it always appeared, a simple structure over a quiet creek. But now I held its secrets, shared its memories, and became a part of its eternal tale. Sometimes, on hushed nights, I am drawn back, though the whispers elude me as they did that first encounter. Yet I know they linger, waiting for the next listener to pause and uncover the stories hidden within the ancient bridge. Story 4. Late one night, enveloped in the hushed symphony of fluttering pages and the comforting scent of aged books and coffee, a peculiar feeling brushed against the edges of my consciousness. In the shadowed nook of my study, a form moved subtly, a silhouette that seemed out of place in the familiar surroundings. My heartbeat quickened as I strained to discern whether it was a figment of my imagination or an unwelcome guest from realms unknown. Outside, the rain whispered against the window panes, a steadfast companion throughout the solitary hours, creating a tranquil cadence to accompany my scholarly pursuits. The soft glow of my vintage desk lamp bathed the worn leather tomes encircling me in a golden embrace, their spines bearing the quiet imprints of generations of readers. The grandfather clock in the corner marked the passage of time with its gentle, rhythmic ticking, a sound so ingrained in my existence that it had become a mere whisper in the background. As I sat there, grappling to rationalize the inexplicable sight, a subtle shift in the room's temperature caught my attention. Not a drastic change, but enough to raise the fine hairs on my arms in silent acknowledgement. The warmth seeping from my dwindling cup of coffee dissipated quicker than usual, leaving behind a delicate film of moisture on the ceramic surface. The shadows cast by the lamp began to sway in a manner that defied the gentle flicker of the bulb, dancing across the walls with a grace that hinted at an unseen choreography. The leather-bound volumes on my shelves seemed to drink in more light than was natural, creating pockets of darkness that felt almost tangible in their depth. A faint aroma drifted through the air, ancient and enigmatic, reminiscent of aged parchment mingled with dawn's dew and a hint of something indefinable. It evoked memories of musty bookstores and forgotten libraries, yet carried an undertone that spoke of starlit skies and distant whispers of wind. The figure in the corner remained motionless, neither advancing nor receding. When I met its gaze directly, it seemed to fade into the darkness, yet from my peripheral vision, it maintained a tangible form. I found myself averting my eyes from that corner, instead observing its reflection in the somber window where it appeared more substantial, more real. My research notes lay abandoned on the desk, the ink now appearing foreign and cryptic in the dim light, as though penned by an unfamiliar hand in a script just beyond my comprehension. The pages rustled softly in the stillness, though no breeze stirred within the confines of my sealed chamber. The clock's ticking transformed from a mere timekeeper into a dialogue, an exchange between the known and the arcane. Each tick seemed to elicit a response from the shadows, a subtle movement or shift that I felt more deeply than I saw. The rhythm wove a hypnotic spell, drawing me into a realm between consciousness and slumber. Gradually, my apprehension gave way to a curious captivation. The figure no longer felt like an intruder, but rather a long-lost acquaintance, a presence from a dream or a distant past. Reality and fantasy intertwined as the night deepened, blurring the boundaries until I could no longer recall when I first sensed its presence. My eyelids grew heavy as I watched the interplay of light and shadow dance across the room. The books pulsed with a silent vitality, containing not only tales but memories, secrets, and whispered truths within their weathered pages. The rain outside whispered a cryptic melody, carrying messages in its cadence that eluded my understanding. Through the night's ebb and flow, I teetered on the cusp of awareness, never fully awake yet never completely adrift in dreams. In those twilight moments, a realization dawned upon me. The figure in my midst had always been there, an unseen observer patiently waiting for my acknowledgement. It had borne witness to countless nights of study, absorbed the essence of every word penned, and shared in the essence of my contemplative solitude. With the gradual approach of dawn, its ethereal form began to fade, not abruptly but steadily, like mist dispersing under the morning sun. The shadows retreated to their customary places. The mysterious scent dissipated into the air. The clock's ticking resumed its familiar cadence, and my coffee lay abandoned, chilled and empty. Surveying my notes in the growing light, I found them unchanged, devoid of cryptic symbols or shifting ink. The sole trace of my nocturnal visitor lingered in the form of a single unfamiliar glyph etched in the margin, a curved line intersecting with 3 dots, a mark whose origins eluded my memory. Even now, on certain nights I sense that enigmatic presence in my study, a silent companion in the tranquil hours between twilight and dawn. It lingers in the shadows, perhaps biding its time for a moment of revelation, or content merely to share in the quietude of my solitary pursuits. Story 5. In the heart of an ancient public library, a hidden world awaited my accidental discovery. Behind a veil of dusty tomes, a narrow passage beckoned with a glimmer of light from an unseen source. The air whispered secrets of old paper and enigma, guiding me into a corridor where history and mystery danced together. Each cautious step I took seemed to harmonize with the ancient pulse of the building, a soft rhythm against the worn wooden floor. As I ventured deeper, the familiar sounds of the library faded into a profound silence that enveloped me like a lullaby. The walls were adorned with peculiar wallpaper, its shifting patterns teasing my peripheral vision, yet remaining still when I tried to focus. Tracing my fingers along the cool surface, I felt faint irregularities that hinted at hidden text or symbols, elusive in the dim light. The passage gently curved, leading me into a subtle drop in temperature that raised goosebumps on my skin. The ethereal light seemed to emanate from the very air, casting a dreamlike glow over everything in sight. Small alcoves appeared along the walls, each housing a singular object. A lockless brass key, a blank journal, a backward-running pocket watch, a mirror reflecting only shadows. These artifacts whispered a tale just beyond my grasp, like elusive words on the tip of my tongue. Anticipation thickened the air, carrying scents of rain-soaked earth and forgotten memories. A reading nook materialized, inviting me with a carved chair and a table holding a cup of tea, its steam swirling in ghostly shapes. The chair creaked, urging me to sit, while a mysterious book on the shelf nearby bore a symbol that shifted with each blink. Opening its pages revealed handwritten notes in my own script, detailing events I couldn't recall experiencing, the ink glistening in the surreal light. Time lost its hold as I delved into the book, unsure if moments or hours slipped by. The sound of turning pages echoed around me, though the book in my hands remained still. A distant piano melody wove through the air, familiar yet tantalizingly elusive, its silver notes like a siren's call. The accounts within the book intertwined with my own, stories of visitors from disparate times merging in impossible ways. Handwriting styles varied, yet each bore a trace of my own penmanship, linking us through this enigmatic space. The passage seemed to breathe with me, expanding and contracting subtly, while motes of light danced like fireflies, whispering cryptic words that teased my understanding. Rising from the book, I found the path transformed into a circular room with 7 doors, each reflecting a different version of myself. Memories not my own flooded my senses as I sipped the tea, blurring the lines between reality and imagination like watercolors on wet paper. The timeless essence of the passage revealed itself as a nexus of time and memory, where reader and story melded seamlessly. Leaving the room, I glimpsed my reflection lingering behind, lost in the endless pages of a mirror. No urgency to question, no need to solve, for some mysteries are meant to be lived rather than unraveled. The library welcomed me back with its familiar sounds, yet now I sensed hidden passages waiting behind every shelf, eager to share their tales with those willing to listen. Even now I catch traces of that pearl-like light, taste unfamiliar memories in my tea, and find ink staining my fingers without cause. Late at night, the sound of turning pages drifts to me, a reminder of the parallel self still exploring stories in that hidden passage. In that space between reality and dreams, another version of me sits in the wooden chair, lost in the eternal narrative of the library. Story 6. In the depths of my attic, surrounded by forgotten relics of yesteryears, my hands stumbled upon a faded photograph nestled within a weathered album. As I gingerly lifted it into the soft light filtering through the dusty window, a scene unfolded before me from decades long past. The image, frozen in time, seemed to shimmer and sway with a whispered tale waiting to be told. A delicate fragrance, a dance of old roses and aged parchment wafted around me, wrapping the space in a cocoon of nostalgia. Were the figures captured in the photograph reaching out from the sepia-toned frame to whisper their secrets to me, a mere wanderer through their captured moment? Seating myself upon a worn rocking chair, the ancient wood creaked a lullaby beneath me, setting a tranquil rhythm that echoed through the hushed attic. My fingers traced the worn edges of the photograph, every crease and imperfection beneath my touch revealing layers of untold stories. The picture depicted a bygone garden party, a vision of elegance and grace lost to time. Ladies draped in flowing gowns and gentlemen adorned in finery stood frozen in a moment of joy, their smiles holding enigmatic secrets within their depths. In the backdrop, a stately Victorian manor loomed, its windows reflecting the fading sun of a distant evening. Yet amidst the frozen revelry, one figure beckoned my gaze. A woman in a gown of pearl white fabric stood apart from the jovial crowd, her gaze fixed upon the camera with an inscrutable expression. As I delved into her features, a peculiar chill brushed against my skin, and the scent of roses grew stronger, wrapping me in a shroud of mystery. Closing my eyes, I allowed the silence of the attic to envelop me, a comforting embrace in the midst of the enigma unraveling before me. Upon opening my eyes once more, a subtle shift had occurred. The light within the photograph had transformed, pulsating with a luminous warmth that breathed life into the static figures. The woman in the pearl white dress seemed to have moved, her hand now outstretched towards an unseen horizon just beyond the photograph's edge. Drawn deeper into the ethereal scene, the sounds of the attic melded with distant melodies, as if an ancient gramophone whispered forgotten tunes into the air. The fragrance of roses mingled with hints of Earl Grey tea and freshly baked pastries, a symphony of scents weaving a tapestry of memories long faded. The boundary between past and present blurred, the figures gaining depth and color as if watercolors bleeding into one another on a canvas of time. The woman in white emerged with clarity, a pendant around her neck, catching light in a mesmerizing dance of iridescence. The temperature in the attic dipped, prompting me to draw my sweater closer, as shadows lengthened and time itself seemed to bend in the dance of the ages. Minutes melded into hours as I sat transfixed, the woman's gaze meeting mine across the expanse of years, her unspoken message resonating in the silence. Her pendant gleamed, mirroring one long tucked away in my grandmother's jewelry box, a connection whispered through the ages. As evening descended, the light in the attic dimmed, yet the photograph retained its ethereal glow. The woman's outstretched hand now pointed towards a small door within the manor, a portal to the unknown, to secrets buried in the sands of time. The distant waltz I had heard grew clearer, its haunting melody threading through the air, guiding the garden party guests in an eternal dance. The woman in pearl white remained still, her gaze a beacon of enigma, a mirror reflecting memories long past. A realization dawned upon me. The woman bore a striking resemblance to my grandmother in her youth, a tapestry woven through generations, a story whispered in the rustling of forgotten leaves. Memories flooded my senses, tales of garden parties and twilight mysteries shared in the flickering candlelight. As night draped its velvet cloak outside the attic window, the photograph returned to its slumbered state, the figures frozen in time, the music fading into the gentle hum of silence. Only the lingering scent of roses remained, mingling with the familiar mustiness of the attic's embrace. Gently returning the photograph to its rightful place within the album, I descended the attic stairs, the weight of my grandmother's pendant resting against my chest, a silent reminder of stories untold. In the stillness of the evening, the echo of a distant waltz lingered, a whisper of time's eternal dance. Some mysteries, I realized, are best left veiled in the mists of the unknown, threads of stories woven into the fabric of time itself. The woman in pearl white had shared her secret with me, a silent pact sealed in the dance of shadows and light. And perhaps, in that fleeting moment of connection, I glimpsed the essence of a tale that transcends the boundaries of time, a photograph come to life in the twilight of memory. Story 7. On a serene evening out on my porch, a captivating melody drifted through the air, carried by the gentle breeze. It was a tune that held both beauty and a touch of melancholy, its soft notes intertwining with the earthy scents of rain and grass. With closed eyes, I surrendered to the enchanting music, feeling as though it beckoned from a realm beyond, bridging the gap between memory and the unknown. Initially, I thought the melody emanated from a neighboring home, but its ethereal essence hinted otherwise. Like silk threads in the wind, the music wove through the air, evading capture yet undeniably present. reminiscent of an antique music box from my grandmother's collection. The melody carried a distinct quality, its notes stretching and bending in ways beyond mechanical possibility. Compelled by its allure, I stepped barefoot from my porch, crossing the cool wooden steps into the garden. The dew-kissed grass beneath my feet anchored me in the moment as the music grew faintly clearer. Moonlight filtered through drifting clouds, casting dancing shadows that seemed to move in harmony with the mysterious song. The post-rain stillness enveloped the night, every leaf and petal shimmering under the starlit sky. Evening after evening, I found myself seated on the porch at sunset, awaiting the return of the melody. Sometimes it would carry hints of distant lands, pine forests, mountain streams, and the rustle of autumn leaves. Other times, only the natural symphony of crickets and whispering leaves graced my ears. Yet, even in silence, a sense of presence lingered, as if something unseen observed, listened, and pondered as much about me as I did about it. Subtle changes began to unfold in my garden. Flowers bloomed out of season, their petals shimmering with iridescent hues in the moon's glow. The wind chimes gifted by my mother years ago chimed in harmony with the phantom melody, even in the absence of a breeze. My cats perched attentively on windowsills, tails swishing in rhythm to the invisible music they and I alone could perceive. One clear night, as the melody meandered through my garden, a remarkable sight caught my eye. Dewdrops on spider webs amid the rose bushes ascended instead of falling, floating like tiny crystal notes ascending into the sky. Rather than instill fear, this spectacle filled me with wonder. Each droplet caught the moon's light, transforming into miniature prisms that scattered rainbow hues across the garden. I began documenting these occurrences in a journal, noting the melody's shifts with the moon's phases. During the new moon, it murmured like a soft lullaby, barely audible. As the moon waxed towards fullness, the melody grew more intricate, layering harmonies that seemed beyond the capabilities of a single instrument or even a full orchestra. At times, I awoke in the night to a soft, pulsing light filling my room, synchronized with the rhythm of the phantom melody. The light painted ephemeral patterns on my walls, vanishing as soon as I tried to focus on them. My dreams became a tapestry of half-remembered tunes and faces, familiar yet elusive. Among the garden's treasures I discovered smooth stones that hummed faintly, feathers gleaming with unearthly colors, and delicate shells that echoed fragments of the mysterious melody when held to the ear. These artifacts found a home in a wooden box by my bedside, where on quiet nights they harmonized softly with each other. With the changing seasons, the melody evolved, incorporating the rustle of autumn leaves, the hush of falling snow, and the buzz of summer insects into its ever-changing composition. It became a steadfast companion, shrouded in mystery since the day I first heard it. Visitors to my garden seldom noticed anything peculiar, yet they often remarked on its tranquil ambiance and the altered flow of time within its confines. I have never sought to unravel the enigma of the phantom melody. Some things I've learned are best left unexplained, moments to be cherished and embraced. Even now, as I pen these words by candlelight on the porch, the melody drifts through the evening air, a gentle reminder of the magic that resides in the spaces between the known and the unknown. The melody persists, a bridge linking worlds, beckoning those who listen to dream of the possibilities just beyond the veil of ordinary perception. Perhaps its true gift lies not in answers, but in the gentle reminder that mystery itself can be a source of tranquility. A soft melody, whispering of wonders waiting to be uncovered. Story 8. In a forgotten cemetery, bathed in the eerie light of a pale moon, I stumbled upon a stone adorned with cryptic symbols that glowed faintly in the darkness. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and fading flowers, each step on the gravel path resonating like a heartbeat in the silence of the night. The enigmatic markings on the stone beckoned me to unravel a secret veiled in the language of time itself. As I approached, a gentle whisper of wind caressed the ancient oak trees, their branches swaying softly above, casting intricate shadows that danced upon weathered headstones. These neglected grounds always held a peculiar comfort for me, where the veil between past and present grew thin like gossamer. But this night was different. A palpable weight hung in the stillness, unlike anything I had felt before. My footsteps slowed as I neared the unique stone, standing out amongst the rest, its surface unblemished by moss or lichen, despite its age. The symbols etched upon it seemed to shift in my periphery, yet remained unmoving when I focused directly on them, forming elegant spirals and interconnected shapes reminiscent of alien constellations. A cool mist began to creep among the graves, carrying the sweet fragrance of night-blooming jasmine. The stone's faint glow intensified as darkness enveloped the cemetery, casting a soft blue light that made the air shimmer like liquid. Intrigued, I extended my hand, fingers hovering over the mysterious markings. The stone emitted a gentle warmth, pulsing in harmony with my own heartbeat. Time itself seemed to warp as I delved into the inscription. The moon hung motionless in the sky, while hours slipped by unnoticed. The nocturnal symphony of rustling leaves, distant owl calls, and gravel underfoot melded into a soothing chorus emanating from the stone. Each symbol took on new significance, hinting at shapes and patterns just beyond my grasp. Tracing the curves of a particularly intricate symbol with my gaze, the warmth from the stone intensified, thickening the air with possibility. Whispers, both familiar and alien, brushed against my senses, speaking of hidden truths buried deeper than any grave, of knowledge transcending generations in symbols and dreams. The mist coalesced into shifting columns resembling robed figures in the dim light, bowing in reverence to the stone, a mere play of shadows and moonbeams. Yet, an undeniable sense of being observed, not with malice but with eager curiosity, lingered in the atmosphere, as if the cemetery itself held its breath. Gradually, I noticed a subtle shift in the stone's surface. The symbols, once static, began rearranging themselves imperceptibly, like the slow movement of a clock's hand. The whispers grew clearer, their meaning just beyond reach. Swaying slightly, I floated between wakefulness and dreams, the boundary between my thoughts and the stone's warmth blurring. Visions flooded my mind, ancient rituals beneath starlit skies, hands spanning generations tracing these very symbols, secrets transmitted through touch and memory rather than words. The night air carried unknown floral scents mingled with the aged stone's earthiness. A gentle electric tingle ran through my fingertips as I unconsciously placed my hand on the stone, warm and inviting like silk. As night deepened, the stone's glow dimmed, but the warmth lingered. The whispers ebbed like a retreating tide, leaving fragments of understanding too delicate to grasp. The mist dissipated, revealing the cemetery unchanged, yet somehow fundamentally altered, or perhaps it was I who had shifted. Retreating from the stone, I moved in a daze, the symbols returning to their original form, their true meaning now elusive. The moon hung frozen in the sky, defying the passage of time. Only the dew on my clothes hinted at the hours spent in communion with the stone. Walking back along the winding path, a profound peace mingled with a sense of wonder and uncertainty. That night, the cemetery had shared a glimpse of mysteries existing in the spaces between moments, in the silent dialogue between stone and time. The nocturnal symphony of insects serenaded my departure, carrying echoes of the whispers I had heard. I never revisited that cemetery, not from fear, but out of reverence for singular experiences, like perfect dreams that lose their enchantment in retelling. Yet on quiet nights when the moon shines full, I trace those symbols from memory, feeling once more the gentle warmth, pondering the ancient wisdom slumbering beneath stone and shadow, awaiting the opportune moment to divulge its secrets to a willing soul. Story 9. Within the peaceful confines of a local museum housing a collection of historic portraits, My attention was inexplicably drawn to a particular painting that exuded an aura of mystery. Amidst the familiar faces captured on canvas, my eyes were fixated on a faintly discernible figure lurking in the background, a presence unlike any other depicted in the gallery. The air hung heavy with the whispers of bygone eras and the scent of aged wood, creating an atmosphere of quiet intrigue. The gallery lay still, bathed in the soft glow of autumn sunlight filtering through tall windows, casting elongated shadows that danced across the polished floors, revealing a ballet of dust motes suspended in the golden beams. The distinct fragrance of a museum enveloped me, a blend of ancient wood, oil pigments, and the faint metallic tang of gilded frames. Time seemed to slow as I found myself repeatedly drawn back to the enigmatic portrait that captured a Victorian family in their elegant drawing room, adorned in their finest garments. The mother exuded grace from her perch on a high-backed chair, her velvet gown shimmering in the light. Behind her, the father stood with a hand resting on the ornate chair, while three children posed around them in a carefully arranged tableau. Yet it was the shadowy figure in the background that held my unwavering gaze. Partially concealed behind a painted curtain, it existed as a mere whisper of a form, a darker silhouette amidst the shadows. The more I scrutinized it, the more convinced I became that this mysterious detail was an anomaly, as if it had been surreptitiously added long after the painting's creation. Standing before the portrait, time felt suspended, my reflection a ghostly apparition in the protective glass that shielded the canvas. The temperature in the gallery dropped imperceptibly near this painting, akin to the chill of a winter breeze seeping through an open window. My fingers traced invisible patterns in the air, skirting the edges of the frame, following the contours of the elusive figure without making contact with the barrier of glass. The rhythmic footsteps of the guard patrolling the gallery provided a gentle backdrop as I delved deeper into the intricacies of the painting. With each circuit the guard completed, new details came to light. The slight shift in the hidden figure's posture, the family members' eyes that seemed to evade direct contact, the subtle transformation of the children's expressions from innocence to wisdom depending on the viewing angle. A soft voice suddenly broke the silence from behind me. "A beautiful piece, isn't it?" The curator, a silver-haired woman with wire-rimmed glasses, stood by my side. "You've been admiring it for quite some time." I acknowledged her observation, gesturing towards the mysterious figure in the background. "I'm intrigued by this detail here. Was it part of the original composition?" The curator's smile held a hint of enigmatic knowledge. "Ah, you see it too. How fascinating." Her voice carried a genuine sense of wonder. "This portrait has a storied past. Commissioned by the family in 1876, the artist vanished before completing it. When the painting was eventually delivered months later, no one could identify the hand that had brought it to fruition. The family insisted that the background figure had not been present during their sittings." Her words settled over me like a gentle snowfall, enveloping me in a shroud of mystery. "The most intriguing aspect," she continued, barely above a whisper, "is that over time, visitors who notice the figure often report varied sightings. Some perceive a man, others a woman, and some even see a child. However, they all agree on one thing: it watches them in return." As if in response to her words, the quality of light in the gallery subtly shifted, a passing cloud momentarily dimming the space. In that fleeting shadow, I could swear the figure in the painting edged closer to the family, no longer concealed by the curtain. The curator's gentle touch on my arm roused me from my reverie. "We'll be closing soon, dear. The painting seems to have taken a liking to you. Not everyone can perceive the figure, you know. Perhaps return tomorrow. Through frequent visits, you might observe further alterations. The family members may change positions, or new objects could materialize in the room." A regular visitor insists the children age with each viewing. Expressing my gratitude, I gathered my belongings, yet as I turned to depart, my reflection in the painting's glass caught my eye once more. For a fleeting heartbeat, I thought I saw the hidden figure standing behind my mirrored self, its presence more tangible than before. Yet, upon a quick re-examination, it had retreated to its customary place within the painted scene. That night, as I lay in bed, a sense of profound enigma lingered in my thoughts. The curator's words echoed softly, "The painting seems to have taken a liking to you." Slumber came slowly, ushering in dreams of ornate frames and endless corridors lined with portraits that transcended their confines to mingle amongst the living. Since that fateful encounter, I have returned to the museum countless times. I would often sit for hours, observing the interplay of light upon the canvas, noting subtle alterations that could be attributed to mere tricks of illumination, or perhaps something more mystical. The enigmatic figure persisted, a silent sentinel of secrets painted in oils and shadows. What captivated me most was not the enigma of the artist behind the portrait, or the enigmatic nature of the figure itself. It was the painting's discerning gaze, selecting certain viewers to unveil its mysteries while appearing as a mere family portrait to others. Perhaps certain artworks harbor more than paint and canvas. They serve as gateways to realms where the boundaries between art and reality, observer and observed, blur akin to wet paint on a palette. The portrait remains suspended in its frame, beckoning to those attuned to its hidden depths. In moments of quiet within the gallery, when the light casts an ethereal glow, I ponder if the figure in the background scrutinizes me as intently as I scrutinize it. Each of us engaged in a silent dialogue across the unfathomable chasm dividing our worlds. Story 10. By the tranquil pond, I paused to gaze at my reflection in the rippling water. Startled, I beheld a faint face, not my own, barely visible amidst the gentle waves. A light mist hung in the air, carrying the sweet scent of algae, while the image seemed to murmur an ancient tale concealed within the depths. Enthralled by the water's subtle movements, memories of my grandmother's tales of water spirits drifted through my mind. She always spoke of the secrets held by still waters for those patient enough to heed their whispers. Overhead, leaves rustled, weaving a soothing melody, harmonized by the occasional splash of fish dancing on the surface. Intrigued by that initial encounter, I found myself drawn to the pond more frequently. At dusk, as the sun painted long shadows across the water, I would settle on the worn wooden bench nearby. In the fading light, the pond took on an ethereal quality. Not quite a mirror, not quite a window, but something in between. Occasionally, I caught glimpses of that mysterious face, always just out of reach, like a forgotten word lingering mid-sentence. Locals spun tales about the pond, each more fantastical than the last. Some claimed it was fed by hidden underground streams connecting to ancient waterways, while others insisted it was bottomless. An elderly neighbor once spoke of seeing lights beneath the surface on certain nights, his words delivered with a serene certainty that left me pondering their truth. One misty evening, the water appeared different, calm as glass, mirroring the deepening purple sky. Enveloped in the soothing silence, I noticed a peculiar detail in my reflection. It lagged slightly behind my movements, as though observing me with keen interest. The enigmatic face from before emerged more distinctly now, feminine features, eyes brimming with centuries of wisdom. In that moment, a gentle presence touched my mind, initiating a wordless conversation. Impressions flooded my thoughts, revealing glimpses of the pond through time. Centuries of shifting seasons, of lives intertwining, of secrets kept and shared. The face in the water had borne witness to it all, safeguarding memories too precious or perilous for the world above. The air thickened with moisture, droplets forming on my skin, yet I remained transfixed by the silent communion. More visions unfolded, ancient rites enacted at the water's edge, Lovers exchanging vows, children learning to swim, elders finding solace in their final moments. The pond was not merely water, it was a repository of narratives, a silent chronicler of human existence. As night descended, serenaded by crickets and the distant hoot of an owl, I realized hours had slipped by unnoticed. The face began to fade, leaving behind a final impression, gratitude for being truly seen, acknowledged after eons of solitude. The water rippled softly, as if stirred by an unseen breeze, returning to its tranquil state. Walking home, clothes damp with mist, I sensed a subtle yet profound shift within me. The world felt richer, layered with hidden significance and untold tales. Understanding now why my grandmother revered water spirits, I embraced the deep connections flowing beneath the surface of ordinary life. I continued to visit the pond, though never again encountering that clear connection with the watery visage. Yet on occasions when the light caressed the water just so, I glimpsed those age-old eyes and felt a familiar tug in my mind. The pond became my sanctuary, where the line between past and present, memory and reality, blurred beautifully. Asked why I frequented the water, especially on misty evenings, I'd simply smile and mention I was listening to ancient stories. For some mysteries are best experienced, felt rather than explained, understood through wonder and observation. In the gentle ripples of that ageless pond, I discovered that the most profound enigmas often whisper their secrets to those who pause to listen, to watch, to ponder. The face in the water remained my silent companion, a keeper of personal and shared memories. In its presence, I learned that the deepest mysteries are often the quietest, revealing their truths to those who take the time to be still, to observe, and to marvel. Story 11. In a quaint gallery nestled in a serene corner of the city, I stumbled upon a painting that seemed to dance with mystery every time I gazed upon it. The colors ebbed and flowed, and the figure within it seemed to lock eyes with me, no matter where I stood. The air hung thick with the fragrance of oil and turpentine, enveloping me in a sense of the painting's pulsing existence, observing, waiting. 6 months ago, I took on the role of night guard at this unassuming gallery, craving solitude and peace after years of bustling retail chaos. The night shift was a perfect fit for me. It was just me, the art, and the gentle hum of the climate control system, safeguarding the precious pieces. The painting that captured my attention hung in the western wing, where moonbeams often filtered through the skylights, casting ethereal patterns on the polished floors. It portrayed a Victorian-era parlor, bathed in soft browns and rich burgundies, with a solitary figure seated in a regal chair. The figure, a woman in a somber gown, her face veiled in shadow, yet her eyes, those eyes held a mesmerizing depth, almost glowing. During my nightly patrols, I began to observe subtle shifts. Initially, I dismissed them as mere tricks of light or figments of my imagination wandering freely in the quiet night. But I started capturing snapshots with my phone, comparing them day after day. The woman's posture would sway ever so slightly, a hand relocating from her lap to the chair's arm, her head tilting at a new angle, the room's shadows ebbing and flowing. The alterations were so gradual that no one else seemed to perceive them. The daytime staff carried on with their tasks. Tourists snapped pictures, and art students sketched in their notebooks. Yet, in the hush of night, when raindrops softly tapped against the skylights, I could feel the painting's silent metamorphosis. I found myself lingering longer in that wing, perched on a wooden bench opposite the artwork. The gentle whir of the ventilation system became a soothing backdrop as I scrutinized each brushstroke, each subtle hue shift. At times, I would bring my thermos of chamomile tea, its comforting floral scent mingling with the gallery's familiar aroma of aged wood and canvas. One exceptionally tranquil night, as moonlight filtered through wispy clouds, I noticed a new element in the painting. Behind the woman's chair, partially veiled in the parlor's shadows, stood a door that I was sure hadn't existed before. It was slightly ajar, revealing only darkness beyond. The woman's gaze seemed to hold a secret understanding, as if sharing a truth she couldn't voice. I found myself drawn into lengthier periods of contemplation before the painting. The soft creaks of the gallery's ancient wooden floors became a lulling melody, and the darkness beyond that painted door seemed to harbor boundless possibilities. Occasionally, in the threshold between wakefulness and slumber, I believed I could discern the whisper of fabric, the rustle of the woman's gown as she shifted in her chair. What intrigued me most was how the painting mirrored my own state of mind. On tranquil nights, the parlor exuded warmth and welcome, the shadows gentle and reassuring. During storms, when thunder rumbled distantly, the room's corners would darken, and the woman's expression would convey a hint of caution or worry. The gallery owner noticed my captivation with the piece and divulged its origin one morning as I concluded my shift. The painting had been gifted anonymously, arriving without any documentation of its artist or history. Every effort to date it or attribute it to a creator had yielded no results. The techniques employed seemed to span various periods, rendering it impossible to assign to a specific era. As time flowed by, I forged a profound bond with the enigmatic artwork. The woman became a silent companion during my solitary nights, her ever-evolving presence a reminder that reality might be more malleable than we perceive. The soft radiance of the security lights, the murmurs of the heating system, and the gentle creaks of the settling walls cocooned us in a realm of tranquility during our shared vigil. I never unraveled the enigma of the painting's transmutations. Perhaps it was the interplay of moonlight and shadow, or perchance something inexplicable was at play. Nonetheless, I came to grasp that certain mysteries are best left unexplored, residing in that ethereal expanse between the tangible and the fantastical. Now, as I sit in the quiet gallery, witnessing the final sunbeams bathe the walls in amber hues, I observe that tonight, the door in the painting has widened a tad more. The woman's countenance carries a whisper of invitation, and for an instant I ponder what might unfold if I could step through that canvas into her world. Yet for now, I am content to linger in this tranquil threshold, where reality and dreams intertwine like threads in an infinite tapestry. Story 12. Drawn by an unexplainable pull to explore, I ventured into an old theater on the outskirts of town, its grandeur now faded into decay. The ornate balconies and velvet seats whispered of eras long gone, filled with applause and drama. As I stepped onto the creaking stage, a soft, echoing voice reached my ears, reciting lines infused with both sorrow and longing. The sound bounced off the weathered walls, blending with the musty scent of aged curtains and forgotten dreams, leaving me to ponder if the theater was truly deserted. The gentle autumn breeze whispered through unseen gaps, creating a delicate symphony of rustling papers and distant whispers. Each step I took on the wooden stage was met with a soft sigh, as if the boards themselves remembered the performances of the past. The air held a strange thickness, as if I were walking through layers of memories suspended in time. Above me, the grand chandelier hung silent and still, its crystals coated in dust, but catching glimpses of light that filtered through the high windows, casting intricate patterns that danced along the walls. Intrigued, I gravitated towards the wing of the stage, where old props lay covered in sheets that undulated like gentle waves in the dim light. The voice I had heard seemed to originate from this direction, though now it whispered faintly in the background. Among the forgotten set pieces, I stumbled upon an old dressing room mirror, its surface clouded with age, yet exuding an otherworldly glow. As I approached, the temperature dropped, sending a chill down my spine, though not unpleasantly so. The mirror pulsated with a subtle energy that defied explanation. In its reflection, I caught glimpses of movement that didn't mirror my own, like shadows of performers from a bygone era still perfecting their craft. The voice grew clearer, A woman, perhaps, reciting lines from what sounded like a tragic love story. Her words carried a melodic quality that was at once soothing and melancholic. Time seemed to warp in this space, minutes stretching into hours as I delved deeper, uncovering crumbling playbills and costume pieces that retained a faint hint of perfume. The voice continued its gentle soliloquy, guiding me through the forgotten nooks of the theater. In the orchestra pit, scattered sheet music rested on ancient stands, the notes faded yet visible, as if yearning for musicians to breathe life back into them. As evening crept closer, the changing light through the windows cast elongated shadows that seemed to move with intention across the seats. The voice gained strength, never rising above a hushed murmur. I found myself seated in one of the better preserved velvet chairs, watching as dust motes twirled in the waning sunlight. The theater seemed to exhale around me, its walls expanding and contracting with the weight of countless tales. In this moment of peace, I realized the voice wasn't directed at anyone in particular. It was the theater itself, reminiscing. Each word carried shards of performances past, of standing ovations and tearful farewells, of opening nights and final bows. The voice wove these memories together into a delicate tapestry, enveloping me in a cocoon of nostalgia. As night fell, the darkness lent a new depth to the voice, emanating from all directions at once, filling the space with a warm resonance that made the air hum with gentle energy. The words became clearer, their meaning just beyond reach, like trying to grasp a fading dream. The chandelier above caught the moonlight, casting iridescent refractions that danced like northern lights across the ceiling. I teetered between wakefulness and slumber, the voice a soothing lullaby. The line between reality and dream blurred. In these twilight moments of awareness, I almost discerned the phantom audience, their presence hinted by the interplay of moonlight and shadow. They sat in silent reverence, as captivated by the voice as I was. As night deepened, a profound peace settled over the theater. The voice began to ebb, gradually fading like a tide pulling away from the shore. It left behind a sense of gratitude, as if my presence had acknowledged and validated the stories held within these walls. The theater settled, creaking and sighing like an old friend preparing for slumber. When I rose to depart, the voice lingered only as a memory, a gentle echo in my mind. Yet the theater felt different, more alive, despite its abandonment. Even now, months later, I find myself drawn back to that theater between dusk and dawn. The voice is always there, sometimes a mere whisper, a gentle reminder that behind every curtain and beneath every layer of dust, stories await listeners. The theater remains a sanctuary where past and present meld, where memories dance like dust motes in the moonlight, preserved in the mysterious echoes of that voice. Story 13. In the deep hush of a restless night, a soft lullaby reached my ears, drifting like a whisper from the room adjacent. Its melody, a delicate dance between tenderness and eeriness, wove through the stillness with a spectral grace. A chill crept down my spine as the gentle tune caressed the air, leaving me ensconced in a blend of solace and profound disquiet stirred by the unseen hand behind the music. From my bed, I beheld the moon's silver touch, painting ethereal patterns on the ceiling through sheer curtains that swayed in the night's breath. The music carried the weight of bygone memories, each note resonating with a familiarity just beyond my grasp. A melody akin to one my grandmother used to sing to me in childhood, its haunting essence now filling my room with a spectral embrace. Beneath the soft carpet, the ancient wooden floorboards murmured softly, their whispers blending with the enigmatic melody. A gentle breeze stirred the curtains, bearing the sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine from the garden below. The air held a palpable presence, not menacing, but keenly observant, a presence that lingered, draped in mystery. As I focused my senses, words began to emerge within the melodic tapestry, shifting between known and unknown languages. A feminine voice, tender and ageless, wove tales of dreams and shadows, of moonlit gardens and vows forgotten. Curiosity overcame my trepidation. With cautious steps, I slipped from beneath the warmth of my covers, feet meeting the cool wooden floor as the temperature seemed to drop with each stride towards the bedroom door. The lullaby maintained its ethereal distance, neither drawing closer nor receding as I approached. Moonlight spilled into the hallway through lofty windows, casting pools of silvery light that illuminated the family portraits lining the walls, their gazes seeming to track my progress. The music beckoned me towards my great-aunt's room, a chamber untouched since I inherited the house. My hand quivered as it reached for the brass doorknob, its warmth a stark contrast to the night's cool embrace. The lullaby persisted, now accompanied by the gentle creak of an old rocking chair, a relic of generations past. The door yielded soundlessly to my touch, revealing a space bathed in a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to emanate from beyond sight. The rocking chair swayed with a ghostly rhythm by the window, empty yet pulsing with a life of its own. Lace curtains fluttered in a phantom breeze, the air pregnant with a sense of presence. On the antique dresser, a mysterious music box stood open, its mirrored surface reflecting moonbeams that painted prismatic patterns on the walls. The melody, both haunting and comforting, seemed to emanate from the very essence of the room itself. Intricate carvings adorned the music box, symbols and patterns that danced with shifting shadows as I drew nearer. Beside it, a photograph lay, revealing a woman in Victorian garb seated in the rocking chair, holding the very same music box. Her features bore a striking resemblance to my own, though the image belonged to a time long before my existence. The lullaby swelled to a poignant passage, and I found myself humming along, words flowing effortlessly from my lips as though they had always been a part of me. The room embraced me with a warmth that transcended the physical, a sense of connection to a lineage of women who had shared this melody through generations past. Fear melted into a profound peace, a feeling of belonging to a tapestry woven across time. As the lullaby gradually faded, like mist dispersing in the light of dawn, the rocking chair stilled, the music box closing with a whisper. The room retained its tranquil aura, the mysterious light ebbing back to gentle moonlight. The origin of the music box remained a mystery, disappearing by morning's light, leaving only the photograph as a cryptic memento. And now, as I cradle my own child in that same rocking chair, a familiar tune escapes my lips, a lullaby of love, family, and unsolved enigmas that need no answers to be understood. In the quiet interludes between each note sung, I swear I hear echoes of other voices weaving our shared lullaby through the tapestry of time. Story 14. In the hush of my dimly lit living room, long after the world had succumbed to the realm of dreams, a delicate piano melody unfurled, filling the air with a haunting beauty. Yet no soul graced the piano bench, no fingers danced along the keys. The music, ethereal and mysterious, meandered through the stillness, intertwining with the fragrance of ancient books and dust that lingered in the shadows. I found myself ensnared, caught between fascination and a slight shiver of unease as the notes cascaded, each one a whispered secret in the night. Moonbeams slipped through the curtains, bestowing a silvery luminescence upon the gleaming piano, as though nature itself had conspired to illuminate this nocturnal performance. Watching in breathless wonder, I witnessed the keys depress in a seamless choreography, crafting a melody that tugged at the strings of longing buried within my heart. Wrapped snugly in my grandmother's treasured quilt, I surrendered to the enigmatic music that wove a tapestry of enchantment around me. Beneath my feet, the wooden floor exuded a familiar warmth, while the grandfather clock in the corner maintained its steady, hypnotic cadence, a counterpoint to the spectral composition that filled the room. As the melody persisted, subtle shifts in the ambience unfolded. The air chilled imperceptibly, carrying with it wisps of lavender, the perfume my grandmother had adored. The flames in the fireplace flickered languidly, as if lulled into a trance by the haunting tune. Each note lingered, suspended in time, casting a dreamlike aura that blurred the boundaries between reality and reverie. I succumbed to the allure, closing my eyes to etch every detail of this surreal moment into my consciousness. The piano's music possessed a peculiar quality, akin to droplets of water cascading into a serene pond, each note creating ripples that mingled harmoniously. Behind the primary melody, faint echoes of other tunes lingered, teasing my memory with fragments of melodies half remembered. Upon reopening my eyes, I beheld the moonlight's shift, casting new shadows that danced across the room in a silent waltz. The music ebbed into a contemplative lull, unveiling nuances previously unnoticed. The gentle swaying of the sheet music stand, the precise movement of the pedals, the faint creak of the piano bench devoid of any weight. Memories stirred within me, conjuring visions of bygone summer evenings when my grandmother's nimble fingers had caressed these very keys, imparting musical wisdom to a younger version of myself. I recalled the reverent way she'd close her eyes in the throes of a poignant melody, as though transported to a realm beyond mortal ken. As if attuned to my reminiscences, the mysterious pianist responded, weaving fragments of my childhood lullaby into the evolving composition. Joy and sorrow intertwined in the harmonies, forging an emotional resonance that transcended mere sound. The room's temperature fluctuated subtly, enfolding me in pockets of warmth reminiscent of long-lost embraces. Shadows pirouetted on the walls in synchrony with the music, and fleeting glimpses of phantom hands graced the keys, vanishing whenever I sought to fixate upon them. Time lost its meaning as the melody decelerated, each note a deliberate punctuation in the symphony of night. The music waned, fading like a receding whisper, until only silence remained. A gentle zephyr caressed my cheek, bearing the familiar scent of lavender mingled with the earthy perfume of aged wood and piano polish. As the final notes dissolved into the ether, a tranquil stillness enveloped the room, pregnant with an enigmatic energy that lingered, unexplained. The grandfather clock tolled softly, heralding the impending dawn, and I comprehended that a new day was on the cusp of birth. The enigma of the phantom pianist remained unsolved, the elusive melody etched into my memory, forever beyond replication. On quiet nights when the moon bathed the room in its ethereal glow, I would ensconce myself in the armchair, awaiting a resurgence of those spectral notes. Though the unseen musician never returned, a sense of presence, familiar and comforting, often graced the room, as though a phantom hand hovered above the keys, poised to commence another nocturne at the opportune moment. The piano, a silent sentinel in the living room, gathered a patina of dust between sporadic polishings. Yet a hint of lavender lingered in the air, and the keys retained a residual warmth from that extraordinary night. Some mysteries, I realized, were not meant to be unraveled, but rather embraced, cherished, existing as ethereal fragments that blur the boundaries between reality and the realm of dreams. Story 15. In the soft glow of my bedside lamp, the hallway beyond appeared shrouded in mystery. As I lay still, my gaze fixed on the sliver of light under my bedroom door, a shadow glided past, silent and deliberate. My breath hitched in my throat. No sound followed, no footsteps echoed in the night. Summoning my courage, I peeked into the empty hallway. 3 weeks had passed since that first encounter, yet the shadow had become a nightly companion, a silent watcher whose presence I now welcomed, though its origin remained a puzzle. The aged wooden floors in my home whispered their tales through subtle creaks and sighs, but the shadow moved with a grace that belied sound. Tonight, as raindrops tapped gently on the window and the wind murmured secrets to the trees outside, I found myself anticipating its arrival once more. The warm light from my lamp enveloped me in a serene cocoon, casting shadows that danced with the darkness beyond, deepening its enigmatic allure. The scent of lavender mingled with the earthy petrichor, carried in through the cracked window, adding to the soothing ambience. A ritual had formed around these nocturnal visits. I brewed chamomile tea, its fragrance a sweet prelude to bedtime, and lost myself in a book, always aware of the gap beneath my door, where the shadow made its silent passage. It appeared at unpredictable intervals, sometimes lingering, other times fleeting, a ghostly presence that seemed attuned to the ebb and flow of my emotions. On anxious nights, it moved with a calming slowness, a reassuring hand in the darkness. In moments of peace, it glided by like a whisper, a gentle reminder of unseen company. Despite the mystery, I never felt fear in its presence. My grandmother's tales of houses imbued with consciousness, absorbing the essence of their inhabitants, whispered through my thoughts. Perhaps this shadow was the house's way of checking on me, a spectral guardian watching over my restless transition between waking and slumber. Night transformed the familiar contours of my home, casting a spell of otherworldly allure. Moonlight bathed the wooden banister in a soft glow, while the grandfather clock in the hall below marked time with a steady, comforting rhythm. The air itself felt pregnant with untold stories, heavy with the weight of possibilities yet to unfold. Tonight, a subtle shift disrupted our silent routine. The shadow paused beneath my door, a motionless specter in the stillness. Minutes slipped by, accompanied by the gentle tick-tock of my bedside clock. Unbidden, I addressed it for the first time. "Hello." My whispered greeting hung in the air, barely a breath in the night's embrace. The shadow stirred, a subtle acknowledgement that sent a shiver of recognition down my spine, a wordless reassurance from a spectral friend. The room seemed to embrace me, warmth enveloping me like a soft embrace, the candle's flame flickering in response to an unseen presence. The paranormal tomes I had devoured offered no explanation for this sensation. No cold touch, no ominous signs, only this quiet companionship that held vigil over my nights. I pondered if the shadow had always been there, a silent sentinel through generations of inhabitants, waiting for acknowledgement, for acceptance into the house's natural order. As it dissolved into the night like mist at dawn, I found solace in its presence, a sense of peace settling within me. The rain's gentle cadence persisted, a lullaby of nature outside my window, as the house murmured its nocturnal melodies. Tomorrow would bring daylight activities, but my heart yearned for the nocturnal reunion with my enigmatic companion. I ceased my attempts to explain this phenomenon to others, recognizing that not everything required a rationale. The shadow had woven itself into the fabric of my nightly routine, a silent guardian alongside my chamomile tea and bedtime stories. As drowsiness tugged at my consciousness, I observed the final passage of the shadow beneath my door, a fleeting caress of darkness. In these midnight hours, in the embrace of the night, I surrendered to sleep, cradled by the house's gentle symphony, knowing that my mysterious ally would return, a silent sentinel in the shadows of the night. Story 16. The hotel's sign shimmered softly in the eerie night, casting a surreal glow through the mist. The doorman greeted me with a subtle smile, ushering me into a realm scented with the essence of aged wood and wax as I traversed the lobby. My room, though modest, cradled me in comfort, lulling me into a deep slumber, weary from my travels. As dawn broke, I descended to reception, only to be met with an empty expanse where the hotel once stood. Standing there, my travel bag dangling listlessly from my shoulder, I beheld the overgrown lot, where lush grass swayed gently in the morning zephyr. The crisp air carried hints of dew and wild blooms, a stark contrast to the refined ambience of polished wood and leather that had enveloped me mere hours ago. My mind grappled to align the reality before me with the vivid memories etched in my mind. Each detail remained crystal clear in my memory. The weight and chill of the antique brass key bestowed upon me by the doorman, the hush of the deep burgundy carpet, muting my steps as I tread to room 247. The hallway adorned with wallpaper bearing a dance of pale golden leaves seeming to sway in the warm glow of the sconces. My fingers linger on the spot where they had rested against the sleek mahogany desk when I signed the register, the leather-bound book exuding a sense of substance with its thick cream pages. The ink flowed elegantly from the fountain pen, capturing my name in graceful loops, earning a nod of approval from the doorman with his pale, elongated fingers. The room itself exuded understated elegance, with heavy velvet curtains framing tall windows overlooking a courtyard garden. The scent of lavender lingered on the bed linens, a solitary rose in a crystal vase gracing the bedside table. The soft click of the vintage radiator warming the room, the gentle ticking of an antique clock on the mantelpiece, these memories lingered vividly. Yet, it was the haunting music that lingered most in my mind. A faint piano melody had serenaded me to sleep, unfamiliar yet achingly nostalgic, like a half-remembered lullaby. Its ethereal notes seemed to transcend reality, hovering on the cusp of my dreams, its essence still palpable in my thoughts. Hours have slipped by as I grapple with my sanity, retracing the steps of the previous night. The ordinary taxi driver who ferried me here, the seemingly familiar streets now cloaked in morning light, bearing a semblance of recognition, yet shrouded in an inexplicable veil of unfamiliarity. The brass key, a tangible relic in my pocket, bearing the worn insignia 247, a testament to the reality of that elusive night. Its weight a constant reminder of the enigma that now consumes my thoughts. Local inquiries yield no trace of the hotel's existence. It's as if it had vanished into thin air, leaving only wisps of memory in its wake. Every night, as I drift into slumber, the scent of polished wood and leather envelops me, accompanied by the distant strains of that elusive piano melody. Its cryptic message lingers on the edges of my understanding, tantalizingly close yet just out of reach. The key now rests on my bedside table, a silent sentinel of that ephemeral night. In the quiet hours, it seems to shimmer with an inner light, a silent witness to the door it once unlocked. Though tempted to discard it, an unseen force stays my hand each time, leaving me to ponder the mysteries that shroud the transient existence of that spectral hotel. Perhaps, on a mist-laden night, the luminous sign will beckon me once more, the doorman with his knowing smile awaiting my return. Until that fateful reunion, I hold on to the key, pondering the enigmatic hotel that existed for a single night, the haunting melody that echoes in my mind, and the spectral guests who may have traversed its halls, each carrying their own brass keys to rooms lost to time. Story 17. In the heart of an old alley, a mural beckoned me with its ethereal presence. Painted in white chalk on weathered brick, the image portrayed a face with a mysterious smile, as if holding on to untold tales of love and longing. The air hung heavy with a blend of smoke and damp stone, adding to the enigmatic allure of the mural. Each dawn drew me back to that secluded alley, where the ancient bricks whispered stories of forgotten times, and the smile on the wall seemed to shift with every passing moment. Sometimes it bore a melancholic gaze, other times a knowing expression, as if sharing its secrets with those who paused to listen. My footsteps echoed softly against the aged walls, harmonizing with the rustle of autumn leaves dancing along the cobblestones. In the tranquil pre-dawn hours, when the world held its breath in anticipation of daybreak, I stood before the mysterious smile, tracing my fingers over the rough texture of the bricks, feeling the remnants of chalk beneath my touch. One misty morning, a revelation unfolded before my eyes. Beneath the smile, obscured by the mist, faint writing emerged like whispers from the past. The delicate script danced across the brick, teasing with fragments of a hidden message. Amidst the fading words, one phrase stood out clearly: beneath the seventh stone. A sense of quiet excitement gripped me as I counted the bricks beneath the smile, seeking the elusive seventh stone. Finding it, I noticed a subtle difference in texture, a barely perceptible shift in the mortar that hinted at hidden depths. Over the following weeks, I returned to the wall at various times, observing how the changing light altered the mood of the enigmatic smile. In the golden glow of sunset, the chalk seemed to radiate from within, while raindrops cascaded down the wall, softening the smile, but never erasing its essence. With my sketchbook in hand, I attempted to capture the shifting nuances of the mural. Yet each drawing felt incomplete, unable to fully grasp its elusive charm. As time passed, I noticed a pattern among those who paused before the mural. A fleeting recognition in their eyes, a subtle shift in demeanor before they continued on their way. One evening, an elderly woman stood before the wall, her expression a blend of nostalgia and sorrow. Her whispered words hinted at a shared history with the enigmatic smile, leaving behind a tarnished brass key beneath the seventh brick. Intricate and aged, the key exuded a warmth that hinted at untold memories and hidden truths. Carrying the key with me, I felt a connection to the wall and its enigmatic smile, a bond that transcended time and space. Weeks turned into months, and the mural grew more defined, its details sharpening with each passing day. The wall became a sanctuary, a place where time held no sway, and the outside world faded into insignificance. Then, on a fateful morning, change arrived in the form of restoration workers, poised to revive the old alley. My heart clenched with the fear of losing the cherished mural. Yet as the workers began their task, a miraculous transformation unfolded. The chalk smile faded, only to reveal a natural arrangement of brick that mirrored the familiar expression. The workers, as if guided by an unseen force, preserved the newfound masterpiece with reverence and care. The brass key warmed against my skin, a silent acknowledgement of the mysteries left untouched. Even now, I return to the alley sporadically, greeted by the subtle smile that endures as a testament to the passage of time. In moments of quiet reflection, I catch glimpses of the faded words beneath the smile, or feel the comforting weight of the key against my palm. The seventh brick remains a mystery, its secrets locked away for future wanderers to uncover. Perhaps some doors are best left unopened, safeguarding their enigmatic stories for dreamers yet to come, who may pause, gaze up, and ponder the enigmatic smile on the brick wall. Story 18. As the day drew to a close, I sought solace in my bathroom sanctuary, allowing the steam from a steaming shower to cloak the mirror in a hazy embrace. Within the swirling mist, delicate words began to materialize on the glass, forming messages in a script so faint it almost eluded my gaze. The familiar scent of soap now carried a hint of something ancient, stirring a sense of wonder about the enigmatic origins of these ethereal markings. Standing there, transfixed, I witnessed more letters taking shape amidst the mist, illuminated by the warm, soft glow of the bathroom lights that cast gentle shadows on the walls. The rhythmic patter of water droplets from the shower provided a soothing backdrop, syncing harmoniously with the cadence of my own heartbeat. With each passing moment, the words etched on the mirror grew clearer, bearing the elegant handwriting reminiscent of bygone eras, akin to the old letters unearthed in my grandmother's attic. "Remember the music box," the message beckoned, invoking a distant memory that hovered on the fringes of my consciousness like a half-remembered dream, familiar yet elusive. That night, an inexplicable pull led me to the neglected corners of my attic, where the wooden stairs groaned underfoot, releasing the fragrance of aged timber with each step. Moonlight filtered through the dusty window, casting elongated shadows that danced across forgotten relics and stacked boxes. The air carried the weight of old books and forgotten tales, enveloping me in a cloak of nostalgia. In a shadowed corner, beneath a velvety cloth as soft as a whisper, I uncovered an ornate wooden box adorned with intricate carvings of entwined vines and blossoms that seemed to stir in the dim light. Upon lifting the lid, instead of a melodic tune, I was greeted by the gentle patter of raindrops. Nestled inside were letters, yellowed with age, yet retaining a crispness as if freshly penned. The elegant script mirrored that of the mirror messages, weaving tales of a hidden realm intertwined with our own. The existence of unseen portals in morning mists, whispered dialogues with the breeze, and mirrors that unveiled more than mere reflections. Subsequent nights unveiled new messages on the bathroom mirror, each guiding me to uncharted discoveries within my own abode. Forgotten photographs nestled within weathered tomes, trinkets evoking buried memories. I was led on a journey of self-discovery through the gentle nudges of an unseen ally. The wooden floors beneath my bare feet seemed to whisper secrets, and the nocturnal symphony of settling sounds transformed into a cryptic language that I endeavored to decipher. One evening, as autumn's rustling leaves painted a mesmerizing tableau outside my window, a message caught my eye. Look beneath the floorboard where the morning light first alights. With the dawn's arrival, I observed as golden rays caressed the bedroom floor, illuminating a solitary board that differed subtly from its companions. With a tender touch, it yielded to reveal a hidden compartment below, a journal bound in supple leather, its pages bearing the familiar script that had become my guiding light. Yet, it was a note in my grandmother's hand on the first page that captured my attention. For when you're ready to see. Now, as I pen these words, a gentle presence lingers, a silent watcher in the shadows. The mirror's cryptic missives no longer invoke fear, but rather a sense of belonging, of returning home. In moments of quiet, bathed in the evening's soft glow, reflections seem to stir with a familiarity that transcends mere imagery, evoking memories of a lullaby. Some enigmas are not meant to be unraveled, some riddles to be lived rather than solved. The unseen hand that scripts my mirror musings has become a companion in solitude, a whisper of magic in the stillness, a testament to the unseen wonders that abound in the spaces between heartbeats. The messages persist, and I follow their lead with unwavering trust. Each night, as sleep beckons, I await the mist's embrace with eager anticipation, welcoming the soft, dreamlike realm where shadows speak in riddles and echoes of forgotten melodies linger. In this twilight between certainty and intuition, I have unearthed a tranquil peace, one inscribed in steam and murmurs, in the silent language of shadows and remembered dreams. Story 19. In a quiet, seldom visited corner of the local library, I stumbled upon a worn, leather-bound book nestled among dusty shelves. Drawn to its weathered charm, I delicately opened its fragile pages, only to have a folded piece of paper slip out, unfurling to reveal a mesmerizing map etched with cryptic symbols. The scent of age and ink wafted from the paper, filling the air with a sense of bygone eras and untold secrets. Seated in a plush armchair, the soft velvet enveloping me in a cocoon of comfort, I gazed at the intricate map while the afternoon light danced through tall windows, casting ethereal shadows upon its surface. Each line on the map seemed purposeful, meticulously drawn with a precision that hinted at a deeper significance. Curious symbols adorned its margins, resembling ancient scripts foreign to my scholarly pursuits. The gentle patter of rain against the windows provided a soothing backdrop as I traced the map's enigmatic pathways with my fingertip. To my surprise, the paper felt warm to the touch, and the ink shimmered faintly in the dim light, hinting at hidden depths waiting to be uncovered. With each angle shift, the map seemed to subtly transform, revealing new layers of mystery. In the corner of the library, an old grandfather clock chimed softly, its resonant tones weaving a hypnotic melody that seemed to breathe life into the map's arcane symbols. Entranced, I observed how the paths on the map converged towards a central point marked by an elaborate compass rose, beckoning me to embark on an otherworldly journey. As the rain intensified outside, blending with the library's soft creaks and sighs from the ancient heating system, A melodic harmony of nature and history enveloped me. Intrigued by the map's connection to the library's architecture, I ventured into unexplored passages, the warm paper guiding my movements with an otherworldly warmth that pulsed with each step. Hidden behind rows of reference materials, a section of the library revealed itself to me, adorned with the same symbols carved into the map. The air carried a scent of old books, intermingled with the essence of summer rain and distant thunder, immersing me in a world beyond time. As evening descended, the library lights brightened, yet in this enclave, shadows danced in defiance of the illumination, casting an eerie allure. The map continued to unveil its mysteries, with invisible ink pathways emerging when held at specific angles, inviting me to trace them with a sense of reverence. Each intricate pattern I followed seemed to alter the room's atmosphere, causing shadows to shift in mesmerizing ways that defied logic and reason. Amidst the distorted chimes of the grandfather clock, I realized that the map transcended mere physical navigation, offering glimpses into the library's past incarnations. With closing time looming, I carefully returned the map to its rightful place within the book, its cover bearing a single symbol mirroring the compass rose. To my bewilderment, the librarian's system showed no record of the book's existence when I attempted to check it out, adding to the enigma that had woven its threads around me. Returning to the library during rainy afternoons became a ritual, as if drawn by an unseen force guiding me towards hidden truths. The book seemed to move of its own accord, appearing in different locations within the stacks, as if orchestrating a silent dance through the library's labyrinthine corridors. Fellow patrons, engrossed in similar books with mysterious maps, shared in this unspoken exploration, each immersed in their own quest for understanding. The library transformed into a sanctuary of endless possibilities, where every page turned held the potential for new revelations and uncharted territories. On quiet evenings, when rain tapped against the windows and the grandfather clock intoned its mysterious cadence, I would unfurl the map and let its warmth lead me through the shadowed aisles. Each journey through the library's hidden pathways felt like a step closer to unraveling a cosmic riddle, a glimpse into a realm where time ebbed and flowed like the pages of an ancient tome. In those fleeting moments between seconds, where shadows whispered of worlds beyond, I found solace in the endless pursuit of knowledge and the boundless mysteries that awaited in the quiet spaces of the library. Story 20. The rain whispered softly against the window, creating a tranquil symphony that filled the room with a sense of calm. The air carried the fragrance of damp wood and a hint of hot tea, lingering on the desk in gentle wisps. It was a night perfectly suited for losing oneself in a book, allowing the words to carry you into the realm of dreams. But then, amidst the peaceful melody of the rain, 3 distinct knocks echoed through the silence, sharp and resolute. I froze, my breath held in anticipation. No one was expected at this late hour. The time-worn armchair let out a quiet creak as I shifted, delicately marking the pages of my paperback with careful fingers. The clock on the wall displayed 11:47 p.m., its rhythmic ticking blending harmoniously with the rain's soft cadence. Living on the top floor meant visitors were a rarity, even during daylight hours. The idea of someone standing outside my door in the dead of night sent a shiver down my spine, raising goosebumps on my skin. Motionless, I strained my ears, listening intently. The rain continued its gentle lullaby, and the radiator hummed its familiar tune. Was it a figment of my imagination, conjured by the late hour and my penchant for ghostly tales? Tentatively, I settled back into the embrace of my chair, drawing the warmth of my soft blanket closer around me. And then it came again. 3 knocks, evenly spaced, each echoing the last with eerie precision. My heart quickened, not with fear, but with a strange recognition. There was a familiarity to that rhythm, a sensation that tugged at the fringes of my memory like a half-remembered dream. Rising slowly, my footsteps muffled by socks on the wooden floor, I approached the door. The soft glow of my reading lamp cast a warm light, painting ethereal shadows that danced along the walls. A peculiar observation caught my eye. The usual draft that slipped beneath the door was absent, despite the storm raging outside. Standing before the door, I pressed my palm against its smooth surface. The wood emitted an unexpected warmth under my touch, as though it had basked in sunlight all day, a curious impossibility on this rainy night. Closing my eyes, I focused on the sensations enveloping me. The gentle rain, the distant rumble of thunder, the subtle vibration of the door against my hand. 3 more knocks reverberated through the door, softer this time, almost tentative, like a gentle touch seeking to awaken without startling. With each knock, the warmth from the door pulsed, spreading through my hand and up my arm in soothing waves. A distant memory surfaced, a tale my grandmother once shared about nights when the boundaries between worlds grew thin. She spoke of visitors who arrived not to frighten, but to impart forgotten wisdom. Some doors, she would say, lead to realms beyond our comprehension. I stood there, hand pressed against the radiant wood, pondering if this was what she had alluded to. The knocking ceased, yet the warmth lingered, pulsating softly like a heartbeat. The rain outside altered its tempo, falling in a rhythm that mirrored the earlier knocks. Time seemed to stretch and bend in that moment, fluid like honey cascading from a spoon. The light within my abode took on a golden hue I had never before perceived, casting an otherworldly glow upon everything it touched. My books, the furniture, even the steam rising from my neglected tea appeared bathed in a mystical luminescence. That night, the door remained closed. I stood by, absorbing the fading warmth as the rain resumed its random pattern. Returning to my armchair, I discovered my tea still steaming, untouched by the passage of time. The clock displayed 11:47 p.m., unchanged from when the mysterious knocking commenced. On quiet, rainy evenings, a similar warmth occasionally emanates from my door, a gentle reminder of that enigmatic night. I have learned to cherish these moments, these subtle nudges that hint at the fluidity of reality. The knocking never recurred, but within me, a transformation occurred. I came to realize that certain enigmas are meant to be felt rather than unraveled, akin to a soft murmur that dissipates before its message is deciphered. My grandmother would have comprehended. Some doors are better left unopened, not out of fear, but out of reverence for the delicate equilibrium between the known and the intangible. Perhaps the true mystery lies not in the identity of the visitor, but in how it awakened a dormant part of me that I never knew existed. Drifting into slumber that night, a peace enveloped me, profound and unfamiliar. The rain persisted, the clock ticked on, and sometimes, on special nights, I feel that familiar warmth against my palm. And in those moments, I smile, understanding that certain queries are best left as gentle enigmas, lulling us into serenity with their elusive answers. Story 21. In a gentle rain, I ventured into the ancient woods, following a trail that seemed to fade and reappear with each passing moment. The earth beneath my feet exhaled a sweet, earthy scent, mingling with the sound of raindrops creating tiny mirrors on the forest floor. The path ahead vanished intermittently, as if nature herself was playing a game of hide and seek. Amidst the whispering trees and shifting shadows, I felt a calmness settle over me, my heart beating in sync with the hush of the forest. Each step I took through the mud produced a soft squelch, a deliberate rhythm guiding me deeper into the misty wilderness. The air was heavy with moisture, carrying echoes of a forgotten past. As I wandered, I noticed strange circular patterns on the moss-covered trees, too precise to be natural creations. The rain softened to a gentle mist, enveloping me in a cloak of tranquility. The trail ahead seemed to breathe, appearing and disappearing like a fleeting dream. Time lost its grip in this enigmatic realm. Minutes stretched and contracted, the shifting light confusing my sense of duration. I paused often, mesmerized by the dance of mist around the ancient trees, each droplet on my skin a whisper of recognition. Deeper in the woods, I encountered patches of ground that erased my footprints as if to conceal my presence. The earth felt alive beneath me, responsive like velvet underfoot. A subtle vibration hummed in the air, resonating with a primal part of me. The forest revealed more mysteries, rain falling upward, stones rearranging themselves in geometric patterns, a symphony of wind chimes without visible source. Instead of fear, these anomalies filled me with wonder and serenity. The forest's melody grew intricate, a harmony of rainfall and unseen music weaving through the trees. My breath slowed to match this ethereal rhythm, my mind embracing a tranquil alertness. The path ahead vanished and reappeared, a guide to seeing the world anew. Subtle hues of blue and purple tinted the mist, pulsing with an inner light. Luminescent motes danced around me, responding to my movements with graceful patterns. Each light was a beacon in the gathering dusk, a reminder of the forest's ancient wisdom. As I retraced my steps, the rain resumed its gentle patter. The woods seemed content, as if sharing its secrets with a chosen few. The vanishing trail had not led me astray, but had taught me to blend seamlessly with the rhythm of the forest. In that fleeting moment, I glimpsed the extraordinary within the ordinary, a lesson in unity with the ancient woods. The disappearing path was not a puzzle to solve, but a journey of becoming part of something greater. And as I journeyed home, I carried with me the essence of the forest, forever intertwined with its mysteries. Story 22. Late one stormy night, as I sat huddled in my cozy nook with my journal spread before me, a peculiar occurrence captured my attention. The words I had just penned began to fade into nothingness, as though the ink itself was being whisked away by unseen hands. The comforting scents of paper and coffee mingled with a damp, ancient aroma that sent a shiver down my spine. Blank spaces invaded the once-filled pages, erasing my thoughts like whispers in the wind. Outside, the rain danced a soft melody on the window panes, a gentle lullaby that accompanied the mysterious unfolding before me. The warm light of my desk lamp painted ethereal shadows on the worn leather cover of my journal, a faithful companion through countless nights of introspection. The creamy, thick paper beneath my fingertips held a familiar texture, inviting and serene, like a tranquil pond reflecting the moon's gentle glow. Initially, I dismissed the vanishing words as mere exhaustion playing tricks on my weary mind. But as I bore witness to the slow dissolution of each letter, I realized there was something more enigmatic at play. The rain persisted in its rhythmic patter, a constant presence amidst the fading ink. Running my hand over the empty pages, I felt a strange sense of calm amidst the mystery unfolding before me. The musty fragrance intensified, evoking memories of ancient tomes and forgotten stories buried in the dust of time. A fleeting flicker passed through my lamp's glow, a momentary pause before its steady radiance returned. Curiosity outweighed fear as I picked up my pen once more, its weight now imbued with a newfound significance. With deliberate intent, I inscribed a single query: "Who are you?" The words held fast for 7 measured breaths before melting into oblivion. Yet this time, a transformation occurred. In place of my own words, a new message emerged on the page, scripted in a language unknown to me. "I am the keeper of unspoken thoughts," it declared, the sepia ink a stark contrast to my usual blue. Unlike my fleeting words, these remained steadfast, a beacon in the encroaching shadows. The room seemed to expand beyond its physical confines, the shelves of books stretching into unseen depths, the sound of rain a distant echo. The air grew heavy with the weight of untold tales, a tapestry of whispered confessions and dreams left unfulfilled. Prompted by an insatiable curiosity, I posed another question: "What do you seek?" The response materialized in deliberate strokes, unveiling a cryptic purpose: to share the stories that linger in the shadows. Thus began a nocturnal dialogue, a dance of vanishing words and emerging narratives that transcended time and place. Fragments of untold stories wove their way into my consciousness, painting vivid images of bygone eras and forgotten promises. As the night waned and the first light of dawn crept into the room, a shift in the atmosphere heralded the conclusion of our enigmatic exchange. The musty scent dissipated, the heaviness in the air lifted, and a sense of closure hung in the silence. With a final question lingering in the air, I asked, "Will you return?" The answer, slow to form, shimmered like dew on a leaf. I exist in the spaces between words, a silent observer of untold tales. Now, whenever I open my journal to write, I am attuned to the spaces between my words, where mysteries lie in wait. The faint echo of that mysterious encounter lingers, a reminder that stories are not confined to the ink on the page, but reside in the silence between the lines. I leave intentional gaps between my words now, an invitation for hidden stories to surface, for forgotten whispers to find their voice. The essence of that fateful night remains with me, a testament to the transformative power of unseen narratives. In the quiet interlude of a rainy evening, I have come to understand that writing is not just an act of creation, but a communion with the unseen, a gateway to the realm where words and stories converge. The greatest mystery is not in the vanishing ink or the emergence of new narratives, but in the realization that every blank page holds the echoes of stories past, waiting to be unveiled in the gentle hush of twilight. Story 23. In the midst of restoring an ancient structure, a peculiar discovery awaited me. A slab of stone, adorned with intricate symbols and carefully carved words, lay hidden within the building's depths. The air surrounding it carried the chill of ancient rock and whispered of long-forgotten tales buried within its engravings. Each symbol seemed to weave a narrative, each word a chapter in a story lost to time. As I leaned closer, tracing the mysterious inscriptions with my fingertips, a sense of time's weight settled upon me. The stone, weathered not by years but by the touch of countless hands before mine, felt strangely smooth beneath my touch. In the hushed light filtering through dusty windows, I discerned what seemed to be dates arranged in a perplexing sequence, defying the constraints of ordinary time. The first decipherable entry spoke of moonlight and shadows, penned in a script both graceful and hesitant. When the full moon ascends, the shadows here stir against its glow, the words revealed. They dance in patterns mirroring the stars above. Unconsciously, my gaze shifted to the shadows in my own corner of the building, observing their subtle movements in the lamplight. As I delved deeper into the stone's enigmatic tale, a gentle coolness crept into the room, reminiscent of autumn evenings carrying the fragrance of fallen leaves and distant rain. The stone, now warmer to the touch, seemed to respond to my presence, sharing its ancient warmth accumulated over centuries. The following passage chronicled rooms that altered their dimensions at different times of the day, meticulously documented by the writer. Walls expanding by inches during twilight, doorways subtly narrowing at dawn. These observations, though precise, exuded a sense of wonder rather than fear. Nestling against an old wooden beam, I continued reading, immersed in the stone's unfolding saga. The narrative meandered through decades, perhaps even centuries, each entry adding layers to a mystery that felt both profound and oddly soothing. Accounts of gentle music resonating from the building's foundations, of shadows pausing briefly in their dance, mingled with the thick air, laden with memories. One entry in a steady hand captured my attention. The building retains memories. Each stone bears the imprint of those who've passed through. In quiet moments, their presence lingers, not as haunting spirits, but as gentle echoes of lives intertwined, stories shared, moments immortalized in these walls. As I immersed myself in the stone's secrets, the room's light subtly shifted, dust motes swirling lazily in sunbeams that stretched beyond their natural reach. Time itself seemed to warp within these walls, influenced by the stone's peculiar chronology, altering the very essence of the air around me. The final discernible inscription, enigmatic yet serene, imparted a profound sense of tranquility. We are not the first to discover this place, nor shall we be the last. With each reader, the stone grows warmer, accumulating memories. Some say the building reads us, absorbing our stories as we unravel its mysteries. Reclining, my hand resting on the now warm stone, I acknowledged that while many mysteries remained unsolved, there was no rush to unravel them all. Instead, I found solace in becoming a part of the lineage of readers and witnesses, each contributing a small chapter to the stone's eternal chronicle. As daylight waned and shadows shifted in peculiar ways, the air retained its soothing coolness, and faint strains of music seemed to echo from the depths of the building. Ready to depart, a subtle anomaly caught my eye. My reflection in a nearby window moved with a delayed grace, a fraction of a heartbeat behind my own motion. I embraced this as another enigma woven into the stone's narrative. The building had shared its secrets with me, yet I acknowledged that some queries were meant to linger unanswered, some tales best left gently unfinished. Gathering my belongings, I knew I would return. The stone diary beckoned, not with insistence, but with the soft persistence of enigmas that whispered comfort rather than fear. In this ancient sanctuary where time ebbed uniquely and shadows danced to an arcane rhythm, I discovered a peculiar tranquility in the unknown. Story 24. The vintage store exuded a scent of ancient paper and weathered wood as I roamed among the shelves, my fingertips gliding over the dusty spines of forgotten books. Amidst them, one book captured my attention. Its leather cover, cracked with age, beckoned me to open it, and as I did, my heart leaped in surprise. My name graced the first page, penned in a script unfamiliar to me. Outside, the soft pitter-patter of rain against the window panes created a soothing symphony that harmonized with the quickening beat of my heart. With each step on the creaking wooden floor, I gravitated towards a weathered leather armchair bathed in the warm glow of a small reading lamp. The amber light enveloped me in a cocoon of tranquility within the dim, dusty shop. As I sank into the embrace of the chair, the diary in my hands radiated an unexpected warmth, almost as if it had been waiting for my arrival. My fingers traced the faded ink, some letters blending into the paper like secrets yearning to be unveiled. The script resembled my own, with curves and slants mirroring mine, though dated decades ago. The first entry spoke of the elusive nature of memories, how they slip between moments like shadows flitting through unopened doorways. The rain outside shifted from a gentle tap to a steady murmur, each droplet carrying a piece of the tale, melding the present sounds with echoes of the past. The ambient temperature in the room was just right, a perfect equilibrium that invited me to delve deeper into the narrative. The diary recounted inexplicable occurrences, moments where reality twisted and turned in unfathomable ways. Footsteps in empty rooms, reflections that defied logic, and unseen presences left a ghostly trace on each page. One passage lingered in my mind. Time is not a linear path, but a tapestry with intricate weaves and hidden folds. Memories are not just recalled, they are lived in different moments simultaneously. The diary didn't evoke fear, but rather a sense of awe and wonder, blurring the lines between the tangible and the mysterious. As I turned the pages, the rain outside synchronized with the rustling of paper, a calming melody that accompanied my journey through the writer's experiences. The warm light of the lamp cast a golden hue on the pages, as if the story itself was illuminated from within. The diary revealed a web of familial ties that transcended conventional understanding, hinting at shared experiences spanning generations. Faces glimpsed in crowds felt eerily familiar, hinting at connections beyond the visible realm. We are more intertwined than we realize, a passage whispered. Our lives are threads in a vast tapestry, some visible, some hidden, awaiting discovery. As evening descended, shadows danced among the bookshelves, infusing the shop with a sense of depth and intrigue. The rain persisted in its gentle serenade, a constant companion in the twilight hours. The final entries delved into abstract realms, dreams blurring with reality, musings on perception and the fluidity of memory. Hours slipped by unnoticed as I absorbed the pages, yet instead of weariness, a profound sense of serenity enveloped me. The diary had transported me to a realm where mystery and calm intertwined, where questions outnumbered answers. With darkness enveloping the room, I closed the diary, feeling the warmth of its leather cover in my hands, a vessel of countless memories. Outside, the rain's gentle rhythm continued, a lullaby of uncertainty that whispered of hidden truths. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved but felt, guiding us into contemplative states of peace. The diary remained a bridge between the familiar and the enigmatic, inviting me to embrace the beauty of life's uncertainties and the solace of the unknown. Story 25. Deep within the abandoned subway tunnel, a soft, ethereal glow beckoned me, whispering of long-forgotten secrets woven into the city's underground tapestry. The air, heavy with the scent of rust and damp concrete, carried me deeper, each step a gentle echo against the curved walls. The glow ahead, constant and mesmerizing, pulsed like a living entity, casting delicate shadows that danced along the weathered surface of the tunnel. As I ventured further, the coolness of the air embraced me, infused with the mineral-rich fragrance of hidden springs and ancient stone. The mysterious light, breathing in a hypnotic rhythm, guided me along the path, its subtle fluctuations drawing me deeper into its enigmatic embrace. Water droplets fell like soft notes in a silent melody, harmonizing with the echoes of my footsteps, creating a tranquil symphony in the subterranean sanctuary. The old maintenance signs, faded and peeling, transformed under the gentle glow, becoming abstract art that whispered forgotten stories of bygone days. The source of the light remained elusive, just out of reach around each bend, yet I felt no rush to unveil its secrets, content to let the mystery unfold at its own pace. Time lost its grip in the underground expanse, as whispers of distant conversations and the gentle movement of air carried me further into the unknown. My hand traced the rough concrete walls, a tactile connection to the history etched in the graffiti that adorned the tunnel, their shifting patterns hinting at a deeper significance just beyond my grasp. The tunnel widened into an ancient maintenance chamber, where the light pooled like liquid sunshine, casting intricate shadows of forgotten machinery and the ghosts of workers past. An old control panel hummed with a subtle vibration, its indicator lights blinking in a hypnotic cadence that resonated with the ethereal glow enveloping the chamber. A weathered logbook, its pages yellowed with age, lay open on a desk, revealing accounts of encounters with the mysterious light spanning generations. Each entry painted a picture of peace and vivid dreams, hinting at the profound impact of the gentle radiance that filled the chamber. The final entry, a mere whisper of recent exploration, spoke of the light's timeless allure. Seated in an ancient chair, I immersed myself in the logbook's tales, feeling a kinship with those who had journeyed before me, all touched by the same enigmatic brilliance. The light, acknowledging my presence, danced in a silent celebration of shared discovery, inviting contemplation and reflection on the mysteries that lay beyond comprehension. Leaving the chamber behind, the glow gradually faded, but its essence lingered, a comforting memory of serenity and wonder in the depths of the underground. Though I seldom return to the tunnel's depths, the light's eternal dance remains a beacon of quiet contemplation, a reminder that some mysteries are meant to be embraced in their enigmatic beauty, lulling the imagination into peaceful slumber. Story 26. In the tranquil hours of a regular evening, a subtle phenomenon unfolded beneath the familiar floors of my dwelling. Soft whispers, barely audible amidst the bustling city noises outside, carried a weight of ancient urgency. Each footfall seemed to magnify these murmurs, as if the very essence of the house was imparting forgotten truths. While my aged abode often communicated through gentle creaks and settling sounds, these whispers held a different essence. They bore significance, although the exact words eluded me. Their sound evoked memories of wind through autumn foliage, or the gentle flutter of pages turning in a deserted library. The first hint of this enigmatic presence came during my nightly tea ritual. Rising steam infused with the calming aroma of chamomile and honey filled the air, accompanied by an unusual warmth pulsating from the well-trodden wooden floor. As days passed, a pattern emerged in the whisper's intensity, reaching a crescendo at sunset when the fading light bathed my walls in a golden glow. The voices, despite their melancholic undertone, never provoked fear but rather stirred a deep-seated nostalgia within me. Sometimes I found myself humming along, drawn to a melody that felt oddly familiar. Driven by curiosity, I spent hours sitting quietly on the floor, feeling the vibrations beneath my palm. Certain floorboards, especially those near the bay window where morning light pooled, held a stronger connection to the whispers. A rainy evening revealed a peculiar harmony as the whispers synchronized with the gentle pitter-patter on the window panes, creating a symphony that enveloped the entire house. Shadows danced in the glow of my reading lamp, moving in tandem with the ethereal sounds. Embraced by my favorite armchair and a cozy blanket, I acknowledged the whispers as a soothing presence in my solitary existence. Documenting their patterns in a journal, I deciphered emotional messages in unfamiliar languages, hinting at bygone memories, fleeting joys, and the passage of time like water eroding ancient stones. With each listening, I felt a profound connection to a vast, inscrutable entity. As winter descended with its long nights and heavy snow, the whispers grew clearer in the hushed stillness. They carried tales of past inhabitants, their aspirations and yearnings seeping through time's layers like water through soil. I reciprocated by sharing my own stories with the house, feeling a reciprocal warmth from the responsive floorboards, akin to a trusted handclasp. During a frost-laden night, a serendipitous discovery unfolded as I stumbled upon a brass key wedged between floorboards while rearranging furniture. Holding it, the whispers swelled into a melodic chorus, imbuing the key with a comforting warmth that hinted at a deeper connection to the house, though its lock remained elusive. This key became my amulet, enhancing the clarity of the whispers that remained tantalizingly just beyond comprehension. Writing this by flickering candlelight, I find solace in the ongoing symphony beneath me, a part of my home's essence akin to the ticking of a cherished clock. Embracing the mystery, I've come to appreciate the beauty of unanswered questions. The floorboards still radiate warmth each evening, and the whispers continue their gentle greeting each morning. Perhaps the house chose me, seeking a listener who would honor its tales without unraveling all its mysteries. With the brass key now adorning a silk ribbon around my neck, I drift between sleep and wakefulness, sensing a fleeting understanding of the whisper's message. Yet, I've come to realize that some mysteries are best felt rather than unraveled, experienced rather than explained. And in that delicate balance lies a profound peace that transcends the need for definitive answers. Story 27. Late one stormy night, as the rain tapped gently against my window, I found solace in the quiet sanctuary of my study. With a weighty book in hand, I settled at my desk, ready to lose myself in its ancient pages. The room was dimly lit, save for the soft glow of an unlit candle positioned at the center of the table. Suddenly, as if stirred by some unseen force, the candle began to emit a gentle radiance. The light it cast was serene, pulsing in harmony with the distant rumble of thunder outside. Despite the lack of a visible flame, a comforting warmth filled the air, mingling with a subtle aroma of melted wax and something indefinably mysterious. Intrigued by this unexpected phenomenon, I found my gaze drawn to the enigmatic light. Shadows danced playfully across the weathered leather of my book, their movements fluid and hypnotic. The rain continued its soft symphony, a soothing accompaniment to the inexplicable display unfolding before me. Leaning forward in my grandfather's old reading chair, I peered closer at the unassuming candle. It was a plain white pillar, unremarkable in every way, yet now it exuded a captivating radiance that evoked the gentle glow of moonlight filtering through mist at dawn. As I observed, the light seemed to breathe, its luminosity expanding and contracting in a rhythm that mirrored the beating of my own heart. In the presence of this ethereal illumination, time seemed to lose its grip, flowing languidly as if caught in a gentle current. The storm outside faded into a distant murmur, and the usual creaks and groans of the old house fell silent, as if in reverence to the quiet magic unfolding in that room. Even the steady ticking of the grandfather clock seemed to slow, as though acknowledging the presence of a profound mystery. Patterns began to emerge in the soft glow, not random flickers, but deliberate shapes that ebbed and flowed like half-remembered dreams. The air itself seemed to thicken, carrying whispers of untold stories that lingered at the edge of perception. I watched in wonder as the light painted intricate patterns on the walls, its gentle caress tracing the contours of ancient tomes and polished brass handles. The scent in the air evolved, now infused with hints of vanilla and the musty fragrance of aged parchment, each breath revealing new layers of complexity. As the night progressed, I noticed the objects in the room responding to the candle's presence. The crystal paperweight on my desk refracted the light, scattering tiny rainbows across the ceiling, while my collection of fountain pens cast elongated shadows that seemed to form cryptic symbols on the walls. The soft pulsing of the light unveiled more of its enigmatic nature, hinting at familiar shapes and forms just beyond reach. It was as though memories long forgotten were resurfacing in reverse, each pulse illuminating fragments of a hidden narrative. Compelled to capture this extraordinary experience, I reached for my journal. The ink seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly iridescence as I wrote, each word carrying a weight of significance imbued by the candle's silent radiance. Hours slipped by in a tranquil communion with the inexplicable. The storm had long since passed, yet the candle's glow persisted, a steadfast beacon in the quietude of the night. My reflection in the window took on a ghostly hue, merging with the ethereal display unfolding in the room. As dawn approached, a subtle shift occurred in the quality of the light. The candle's glow harmonized with the softening shadows of morning, blending seamlessly with the gray light that heralded the new day. The air now held the promise of dawn, tinged with the lingering mystery of the night. When the sun finally rose, the candle's light did not fade but merged with the natural illumination of daybreak. The wax remained untouched, bearing no trace of the wondrous events that had transpired. Only the faint scent in the air and the words inscribed in my journal bore witness to the night's silent revelation. To this day, the mysterious candle remains on my desk, a silent sentinel of that extraordinary evening. On quiet nights when the rain returns, I sense a whisper of that otherworldly scent, and the air thickens with the possibility of magic. In those moments, I sit in my grandfather's chair, waiting in quiet anticipation, wondering if the candle will once again share its mystical tale with me. Story 28. As I sifted through the forgotten treasures of time within the attic's confines, a hidden canvas caught my eye. Tucked away behind an old, weathered trunk, the painting lay incomplete, capturing a figure in the midst of a mysterious transformation, a dance of light and shadow that seemed to beckon from another realm. The air was heavy with the scent of aged paper and memories long past, enveloping me in a cocoon of nostalgia. Studying the delicate brush strokes, I felt a strange familiarity with the features depicted, as if they held secrets of a life I had never lived. Settling into a creaking wooden chair, I watched as dust motes pirouetted in the ethereal beam of light that filtered through the tiny attic window. The portrait before me seemed to shimmer, its unfinished edges blending seamlessly into the raw canvas like whispers of a forgotten dream. The face on the canvas was a paradox, both present and elusive, with certain details etched in crystal clarity while others dissolved into the realm of the unknown, as if the artist had been interrupted by an unseen force. The soft groaning of the old house provided a soothing symphony as I lost myself in contemplation, my fingers tracing the weathered frame, each groove and imperfection a testament to the passage of time. There was a depth in the eyes of the portrait that drew me in, a silent invitation to unravel the mysteries that lay within. As evening descended, the golden light of dusk bathed the attic in a warm glow, casting long shadows that danced across the ancient floorboards. A hint of autumn whispered through a gap in the window, carrying with it the promise of change. In the growing darkness, I found myself drawn to converse with the enigmatic painting, sharing whispers of thoughts and memories as though confiding in an old friend. And as night draped its velvet cloak over the attic, a peculiar phenomenon revealed itself. The brush strokes on the canvas seemed to shift and dance, offering glimpses of different emotions with each passing moment. Time seemed to lose its meaning in that attic sanctuary. Hours melted away like shadows in the night as I delved deeper into the enigma of the portrait. And hidden behind it, a faded inscription in elegant script caught my eye. "Remember, the light changes everything." The words, penned with a dreamlike grace, stirred something primal within me, forging an unspoken bond between myself and the elusive artist. Bringing forth journals and photographs from the depths of the house, I surrounded the portrait with fragments of a forgotten past, each piece hinting at the identity of the figure on the canvas. Yet, the answers remained elusive, obscured by the whispers of the ancient timbers that cradled me in their embrace. On sleepless nights, I would ascend the narrow stairs to sit in the attic's hallowed presence. Moonlight would filter through the window, casting an otherworldly glow upon the unfinished portrait. In those moments of quiet communion, I could almost hear the echo of distant melodies, as if the painting itself held a melody of its own. With each passing night, the portrait seemed to shift and morph before my eyes, its features taking on new life within the confines of my imagination. The eyes, in particular, held a mesmerizing gaze that mirrored my own emotions, reflecting the ebb and flow of unseen currents that pulsed through my soul. The painting became a mirror of my innermost self, a conduit for long-buried memories and untold stories. In its unfinished state, it offered a canvas for endless possibilities, a gateway to a realm where time and space intertwined in a delicate dance of creation. As the seasons changed outside the attic window, a theory began to form within me, a realization that perhaps the portrait was never meant to be completed. Instead, it existed in a perpetual state of becoming, a living testament to the ever-shifting nature of existence. I did not seek to unravel the mystery of the painting's origin, for in its enigma lay its power. I became its guardian, a silent witness to the evolution of a timeless masterpiece that defied conventional understanding. The attic became a sanctuary where the boundaries of reality blurred, where the observer and the observed merged into a singular entity. And even now, years later, I still ascend those narrow stairs to commune with the portrait that has become an integral part of my being. Sometimes I bring a notebook to document the ever-changing interplay of light and shadow upon the canvas. But mostly I sit in reverent silence, basking in the presence of a mystery that continues to unfold, revealing new facets of truth with each passing moment. For in the unfinished strokes of the portrait lies a profound completeness, a testament to the eternal dance of creation and discovery. It is not meant to be solved, but to be experienced, a silent companion in the quiet moments of the attic, where time stands still and the mysteries of existence whisper their timeless secrets in the gentle dust-filled light. Story 29. Late at night, on a nearly empty subway ride home, the atmosphere inside the car felt unusually heavy. A solitary figure sat in the far corner, silent yet with eyes fixed on me as the train journeyed through dim tunnels. The air carried a blend of sweat and stagnant odors, and a disquieting sensation of being observed settled upon me. The gentle swaying of the car and the rhythmic clacking of wheels against rails usually would have induced drowsiness, but tonight was different. My focus kept returning to the stranger, whose mere presence seemed to warp the reality surrounding them. The flickering fluorescent lights above cast eerie shadows that danced across the worn metal walls. Something peculiar caught my eye about the figure. Their outline appeared slightly blurred, as if seen through a rain-streaked window. Each blink or shift of my gaze caused their edges to momentarily sharpen before softening once more. The effect, though subtle, was too distinct to be dismissed as mere fatigue. Then a strange occurrence unfolded before me. The stranger raised a hand in what seemed like a greeting, leaving lingering after images in the air, akin to sparklers painting light trails in the night sky. Every gesture created ripples in the space around them, distorting the advertisements on the walls behind. The temperature in the car plummeted, causing goosebumps to prickle my skin. Time itself felt elastic, stretching and contracting with each passing breath. The intervals between stations stretched into eternity, the darkness beyond the windows growing deeper and more absolute. The usual cacophony of subway sounds, the rush of air, mechanical groans, and distant echoes, faded into a soft, enveloping silence, leaving only the steady heartbeat rhythm of wheels on tracks. I found myself entranced by their clothing, a blend of modern and antiquated styles. Their coat could have been worn yesterday or a century ago, their shoes shifting between eras when not under direct scrutiny. Despite the overhead lighting, their face remained shrouded in shadow, as if darkness clung to them willingly. The stranger began to hum a melody that I felt resonate within my chest rather than heard with my ears, a haunting tune evoking childhood lullabies and forgotten dreams. As my eyelids grew heavy, I wrestled to keep them open, torn between comfort and unease. Subtle changes began to manifest in the subway car. Advertisements displayed different images when glanced peripherally, metal poles bending at impossible angles before snapping back to normal when directly observed. Windows reflected scenes of gardens, libraries, and distant stars that defied logic. The stranger rose slowly, moving with a fluid grace reminiscent of water in zero gravity. Advancing towards me, I noticed their feet hovered slightly above the floor, surrounded by an opalescent shimmer in the air, akin to heat waves rising from sun-baked pavement. Their presence exuded an ancient wisdom and infinite patience, filling the car with a profound sense of age. Seating themselves across from me, I caught a fleeting glimpse of their face, kind and ancient, familiar yet impossible to commit to memory. As they spoke, their voice whispered like wind through autumn leaves. "You perceive more than most," the words echoing in my mind, though their lips remained still. I longed to respond, to voice the myriad questions swirling in my thoughts, but a deep tranquility enveloped me, soothing and complete. The train's gentle rocking became a cradle, and the darkness beyond the windows transformed into a comforting embrace. The stranger's presence shifted from foreboding to that of a long-lost friend on the cusp of remembrance. When I reopened my eyes, the subway car was empty. Harsh fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, advertisements showcasing their usual offerings. The air had resumed its normal temperature, and the familiar sounds of the subway echoed once more. Yet a change had taken place. A subtle iridescence clung to my clothes in the window's reflection like dewdrops in a spider's web. And within my pocket, I discovered a ticket stub of unknown origin, printed with characters in a cryptic alphabet I somehow understood. Now, on late-night subway rides, I observe my fellow passengers with heightened awareness. Occasionally, when the light strikes just so, I glimpse blurred edges and trailing after images. And every now and then, a distant humming resonates not in my ears but in my very bones, a reminder that reality is more fluid than we realize, especially within those twilight spaces between consciousness and slumber. Story 30. In the attic of our ancestral home, amidst forgotten relics, I stumbled upon a bundle of ancient letters tied with a fragile ribbon. The parchment, tinged with age, bore enigmatic symbols hinting at a concealed history. A musty aroma of decayed paper and lost recollections enveloped me as I gingerly unfurled each letter, sensing a veiled truth beckoning from the past. Outside, autumn rain tapped a gentle melody on the attic window, harmonizing with the rhythm of my own heartbeat. Dust particles pirouetted in a sunbeam, casting a surreal aura over the room. Nestled upon a weathered wooden chest, I delved deeper into my discovery. The initial letter, penned nearly a century ago, showcased elegant calligraphy intertwined with mysterious spirals and intricate patterns that seemed to pulse faintly under my touch. Subsequent letters wove a tale of seasonal shifts, lunar cycles, and dreams blurring the line between reality and the unknown. The unseen author, identified only as E, recounted midnight gardens and ethereal melodies without source. The ancient house murmured secrets as the wind whispered through its time-worn bones. Reciting the letters in reverent whispers, I encountered passages inscribed in mirror writing, revealing their secrets only in the attic window's reflection. Each letter transported me further from the tangible world, immersing me in a realm of anomalies and enigmas. Shadows defied light's logic, clocks reversed time, and ethereal visitors left ephemeral imprints that blossomed into wildflowers by dawn. The sixth letter alluded to a gentle ritual involving mirrors and the full moon, offering glimpses into alternate realities. A faint rocking of my grandmother's chair in the corner hinted at unseen forces at play. Lost in contemplation, I pondered her potential involvement in this cryptic legacy. The golden light of late afternoon bathed the attic as hours slipped by unnoticed. The letters grew increasingly cryptic, some passages inscribed in unfamiliar symbols that tantalizingly teased comprehension. The final letter diverged from its predecessors, the urgency palpable in the shaky script. E divulged a revelation regarding time and memory, positing that places and objects retained echoes of their past. As I absorbed the letter's final words, a peculiar occurrence seized my attention. Dust swirled in intricate patterns, mirroring the symbols from the letters, while raindrops outside choreographed a mysterious language. Rebinding the letters, I sensed their profound impact on my perception of reality. The enigma of E lingered, a riddle unsolved but embraced. The setting sun cast elongated shadows, including one of my own that seemed to hesitate, pondering a divergent path. Grinning, I acknowledged that some mysteries were meant to be felt rather than unraveled. In tranquil moments, I revisit the attic, enveloped by the rain's gentle serenade. The letter's secrets endure, a companionable enigma reminding me of the boundless wonders awaiting those who dare to seek. Story 31. In the depths of an old attic, while sifting through forgotten treasures, a peculiar keyring caught my eye. Adorned with an array of ornate ancient keys, each one a masterpiece of design, they whispered tales of bygone eras. The attic air was heavy with a sense of anticipation, as if the keys themselves held the key to unlocking a long-lost enigma. The feeble light filtering through dusty windows painted intricate patterns on the wooden floor, as if dancing to a silent tune. Seated on the floor, surrounded by the keys, I traced my fingers over their intricate details. One key boasted delicate vines, another bore celestial patterns that seemed to tell stories of the stars. A smaller key, adorned with musical notes, hummed a gentle melody when touched. Despite their age, the keys gleamed with a warm, pulsating glow, untouched by time's grasp. That evening, I brought the keys to my study, placing them next to a cup of chamomile tea. Wisps of steam spiraled upwards, carrying the soothing essence of honey and herbs. Outside, rain began its gentle descent, a tranquil rhythm against the window pane. As I sketched each key meticulously, the room seemed to shift subtly around me. The lamplight caressed the keys, casting ever-changing shadows that danced with a mysterious allure. Days turned into nights, and my fascination with the keys deepened. I delved into the world of antique locks and key craftsmanship, seeking answers to the mystery they held. Yet it was the dreams that captivated me the most. Each night, I wandered through endless corridors, doors whispering secrets that remained elusive, just beyond reach. One twilight, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amethyst and gold, a revelation unfolded. Arranging the keys in a specific pattern, they formed a constellation unknown to me, yet familiar in a way that tugged at my memory. The air in the room grew thick with possibility, as if awaiting a revelation. Faint chimes of wind drifted through the window, blending with the rustle of papers, creating a symphony that responded to the presence of the keys. Lost in contemplation, I noticed the shadows cast by the keys defied logic, morphing into cryptic symbols that danced on my desk. They seemed to hold ancient knowledge, evading my attempts to decipher their meaning. Each evening spent with the keys unveiled new mysteries, unveiling a world where time flowed in strange and wondrous ways. On moonlit nights, the celestial key warmed beneath my touch, while rainy evenings transformed the vine-adorned key, making it appear alive with growth. Yet, the true marvel was how time itself seemed to bend and sway in the presence of the keys. Moments stretched into eternity, each second pregnant with untold possibilities and infinite wonder. The purpose of these keys remained a riddle, their origins shrouded in mystery. Perhaps they were not meant to unlock physical doors, but rather to open gateways to realms of imagination and curiosity within the mind. Even now, nestled in their velvet sanctuary on my desk, the keys shimmer with an otherworldly allure, their secrets tantalizingly close yet maddeningly elusive. In the hushed moments between twilight and slumber, I find solace in their enigmatic presence, a reminder that some mysteries are meant to be cherished, not unraveled. The keys stand as silent sentinels, guardians of truths unknown, beckoning me to explore the endless depths of their enigmatic world. And in the quietude of the night, I am grateful for their enigmatic companionship, a reminder that some questions are more beautiful when left unasked, some doors more enchanting when left unopened. Story 32. On a rainy night, the city lights danced hazily against the slick streets as I parked my car. In the gentle rhythm of raindrops, a small handwritten note caught my eye, clinging to my windshield. Its words were cryptic, closing with a signature that sent shivers down my spine. It bore a striking resemblance to my own handwriting. The note exuded a musty scent, a mix of dampness and aged cologne, stirring a sense of unease within me as I stood in the misty drizzle. The message was brief. Meet me where light kisses water at midnight. Understanding will find you upon arrival. Beneath the enigmatic words lay my signature, flawlessly mimicking every loop and stroke I had meticulously crafted over the years. The paper felt fragile between my fingertips, as though it had traversed through time rather than just being left on my windshield. Driving home that evening, the note sat on the passenger seat beside me, its presence almost ethereal. I stole glances at it, half expecting it to vanish into thin air. The rhythmic swish of the wipers against the glass created a hypnotic pattern, lulling me into a contemplative state. The lingering scent of the cologne filled my car, evoking elusive memories that danced just beyond my reach. Back in my apartment, I placed the note on my desk, illuminated by the warm glow of my reading lamp. The paper carried the weight of years, its edges yellowed and texture whispering tales of time gone by. Yet what captured my attention most was a faint watermark, visible when held up to the light, a symbol from my childhood journals, etched into the paper like a secret code. That night, sleep came in fragments, interrupted by the soft pitter-patter of rain against my window. In my dreams, I wandered through a surreal landscape where reflections of myself moved through mirrors, each one dressed in attire from different eras. They passed notes amongst each other, a silent exchange that carried a mysterious weight. Upon waking, a subtle shift had occurred on the note. The ink had subtly changed, revealing a hidden message beneath the initial one, unveiled only by the early morning light. Time is not what it seems. Neither am I. The signature remained unchanged, yet it seemed to shimmer with an iridescent glow, akin to oil upon water. The following day was a tranquil blur as I watched the rain paint intricate patterns on my windows. The world outside seemed to move at a different tempo, as if time itself were bending around the enigma of the note. My phone remained eerily silent, though I had no recollection of powering it off. The clock on my wall ticked with a resonance that felt otherworldly, each passing second stretching into an eternity. As evening descended, the rain softened to a gentle mist, beckoning me towards the serene lake near my abode. Droplets danced upon the water's surface, whispering secrets in their concentric circles. Approaching the shore, I observed how the streetlights cast ethereal columns of light upon the water, reaching into its mysterious depths. Seated on a bench by the lake, the note now warmed in my pocket. I inhaled the scent of damp earth mingled with that all-too-familiar cologne, now growing more potent. In the distance, a figure materialized at the water's edge, shrouded by the mist's embrace. Motionless, they gazed at the interplay of light and water, a silent sentinel in the night. A gesture of greeting from the figure prompted a mirrored response from my own hand, as if guided by an unseen force. Stepping forward, the mist began to twist and coil, forming ephemeral doorways that seemed to lead to realms beyond. The fragrance of cologne enveloped me, ushering forth a flood of memories, not of the past, but of moments yet to unfurl. But before I could reach the figure by the lake, I found myself back in my car, the note now bearing a fresh message. You have tread these paths before, and you shall tread them again. My signature remained unchanged, a stark reminder that it was not a forgery, but a premonition penned by my own hand, in a moment yet to transpire. The rain continued its gentle descent, wrapping me in a cocoon of mystery and tranquility. Some queries, I realized, were not meant to be deciphered, but rather embraced as part of the enigmatic tapestry of existence, akin to the space between raindrops or the pause between heartbeats. The note found its resting place in my desk drawer, yet in the stillness of night, I swear I hear the rustle of paper, reshaping itself into new revelations. I frequented the lake, an observer of the dance of light upon the water's surface. At times I glimpsed fleeting reflections of myself, past or future, the distinction blurred, standing at various points along the shore. Our silent exchanges spoke volumes, transcending mere words, carried on the tendrils of that familiar cologne. The mystery of the note remained unsolved, a riddle intertwined with my very being, a gentle echo that trailed my steps. In moments of quiet introspection, I found myself reaching for a pen, pondering if, somewhere at some point, another iteration of myself is receiving a note I have yet to pen. Story 33. Amidst a dense forest on a serene, misty morning, a peculiar rustling caught my attention, distinct from the wind's usual song. The leaves whispered secrets as they brushed together, guiding my steps along a concealed path. Before long, I stood before an ancient headstone, partly veiled by ivy and moss. The air carried a heavy scent of damp earth and decay, leaving me with an eerie sensation that the past was softly beckoning to be acknowledged. Kneeling beside the weathered stone, my fingers traced the faded engravings, sensing each groove and flaw. The stone told its own tale of time's patient erosion, smooth in some places, rough in others. A gentle breeze carried the sweet perfume of wild roses, their delicate petals scattered around the grave like a natural tribute to the forgotten soul below. The murmurs intensified as morning light filtered through the dense canopy above, casting dancing shadows on the ground. Each beam of light revealed tiny particles suspended in the air, creating an ethereal ambiance that seemed to suspend time itself. The forest symphony continued. Distant bird calls, the soft crunch of leaves underfoot, and the occasional drip of water from the leaves. I noticed the curious placement of the headstone. Unlike the orderly rows of traditional graveyards, this solitary stone stood at an odd angle, seemingly pointing deeper into the forest. Following its direction, I spotted a faint path, barely visible among the undergrowth, marked by smaller stones akin to the one before me, like breadcrumbs leading to mystery. The temperature dropped slightly as I ventured along this hidden trail, my steps cushioned by layers of fallen leaves, creating a hushed carpet that absorbed any sound. The air grew still, yet the whispers persisted, now seeming to surround me from all directions. I reached a clearing where morning mist lazily swirled around my feet. In the center loomed an ancient oak tree, its gnarled trunk bearing an array of items hanging from its lower branches. Old photographs in rusted frames, handwritten letters sealed in weathered glass bottles, and personal effects spanning different eras. Each item appeared deliberately placed, forming a tapestry of memories. As I examined them closely, I realized they all shared a common thread. They were memories, frozen moments in time, all linked to the grave I had stumbled upon. A sepia-toned photograph depicted a young woman in Victorian attire, her eyes mirroring the mystery of the forest. A weathered bottle held a letter from 1892, its faded ink still legible, speaking of profound loss and unspoken vows. The whispers grew softer, more intimate, as if the forest whispered its secrets to me alone. I grasped that this was not just a solitary grave, but a sanctuary of memories, a realm where time intertwined with itself. The tree had become a keeper of tales, each item hanging from its branches a strand in the web of interconnected lives. As the morning advanced, sunlight pierced through the mist, casting golden rays that bathed different objects in a luminous glow. A small mirror reflected a fleeting glimmer, and for a moment I thought I saw movement behind me. Yet, when I turned, only the gentle sway of branches met my gaze. I lingered for hours in that clearing, reading fragments of letters, studying photographs, and feeling the weight of history in my hands. Each artifact pulsed with a gentle energy, recounting stories of love, loss, and the eternal cycle of life witnessed by the forest. The whispering leaves maintained their soft narrative, providing a tranquil backdrop to my revelations. As afternoon approached, the light shifted, imbuing the clearing with a golden warmth that felt almost otherworldly. Sensing it was time to depart, a compelling force urged me to leave my own mark in this sacred space. Retrieving an old pocket watch that once belonged to my grandfather, I carefully hung it from a low branch, adding my own strand to the tapestry of memories. Retracing my steps along the path, I noticed a change in the whispers. They no longer beckoned me forward, but instead bid me farewell with gentle sighs. The original headstone came into view, but now I saw it not as an end, but as a beginning, a gateway to a realm where memories persisted in the rustle of leaves and the soft morning light. I never recorded the location of that clearing on any map, nor shared its coordinates with another soul. Some places deserve to remain hidden, existing in the delicate space between reality and dreams. Yet on quiet mornings when mist envelops the forest and leaves whisper softly, I know it lingers still, gathering stories, safeguarding memories, and awaiting the next wanderer who may heed its call. Story 34. The soft murmur of the vintage radio filled my silent apartment, crackling with static as if trying to reach out from the past. It sat untouched for years, yet now it sang softly in the dimness of the room. As I extended my hand to silence it, a voice, low and hauntingly familiar, pierced through the crackling air. It whispered a phrase known only to me. Resting on my grandmother's cherished antique side table, the radio's wooden frame shimmered in the warm glow cast by my reading lamp. Until that moment, the evening had been tranquil, the raindrops tapping gently against the window pane, lulling me into a state of peaceful solitude. Wrapped in my favorite blanket, lost in a book, I was suddenly interrupted by the intrusion of static cutting through the quietude. Initially, I suspected a stray movement had activated the ancient device, but I quickly dismissed that notion. The radio had been dormant since my grandmother's passing 5 years ago, preserved solely for sentimental reasons, a relic of cherished memories spent listening to music and watching her knit in her favorite chair. The voice materialized gradually, emerging from the veil of interference like a specter through mist. "I remember the butterfly," it murmured, barely audible. My breath hitched in my chest. The butterfly, that intimate moment shared only between my grandmother and me, a delicate blue morpho, alighting on my hand during her funeral, a silent companion until the final prayer was uttered. The rain persisted in its gentle serenade outside, a soothing cadence to the surreal scene unfolding within my walls. The voice persisted, navigating through patches of static with eerie precision. "You still keep the origami birds in the shoebox beneath your bed." Another clandestine detail, paper cranes, each one concealing a whispered wish, a skill she had imparted to me. I had safeguarded this secret treasure from prying eyes. The lamplight flickered softly, casting dancing shadows on the radio's polished wood. A fragrance of dried lavender and old books wafted through the air, evoking memories of my grandmother's presence. The room's temperature shifted, embracing me with a coolness reminiscent of dewy mornings in her garden. The voice divulged more hidden recollections, the concealed key beneath a loose brick in the garden wall, the cryptic recipe for her blackberry tea hidden in her journal, her hushed rendition of Moon River during quiet moments. Each revelation washed over me like a gentle tide, unearthing memories long buried in the recesses of my mind. Sinking deeper into my chair, apprehension gave way to a profound tranquility. The static between words transformed into a comforting hum, akin to ocean waves or rustling leaves. My grandmother's voice, now unmistakably hers, continued its tender narrative, infusing each syllable with shared experiences. Time seemed to warp as I listened, the rain outside blending harmoniously with her spectral words. Despite my heavy eyelids, I resisted slumber, fearful of missing a single utterance. She spoke of sunlit afternoons in her garden, of clandestine pathways in the woods behind her home, of stories left unfinished. As night enveloped the room, her voice began to wane, dissolving once more into the crackling static. Desperate to grasp onto fading echoes, unspoken queries lingered on my lips, yet an invisible force held me in check. Perhaps some enigmas are destined to remain shrouded in mystery. Her final words pierced the veil, a luminous beam breaking through the clouds of uncertainty. The best secrets are those that remind us we are never truly alone. The static ebbed into silence, leaving behind only the gentle patter of rain and the hush of my own breath. I never dared to switch on the radio again, but on rare occasions, when the rain falls just so and the evening light casts a golden hue upon its wooden frame, I swear I can discern the faint echo of static. In those fleeting moments, I am reminded that while some secrets are meant to be safeguarded, others have a way of making themselves heard. Story 35. In the quiet sanctuary of my small backyard garden, a curious discovery unfolded before me. While tending to the earth, I stumbled upon a series of delicate footprints, etched into the moist soil, their presence a mystery shrouded in tranquility. These prints, small and purposeful, led me on a path towards the unknown, disappearing into a thicket of tangled shrubs. The scent of blooming blossoms mingled with an elusive fragrance, weaving a sense of enchantment into the air around me. As I knelt to examine the intricate footprints, a subtle feeling of being observed enveloped me, enhancing the stillness of the afternoon. Sunlight filtered through the lush canopy above, creating a tapestry of shadows that danced across the ground, casting a spell of calmness over the garden. Normally a place of solace and peace, today the familiar rustle of leaves and gentle bird songs held a hint of something mysterious, beckoning me further into the unknown. Running my fingers along the edge of a single footprint, I felt the cool dampness of the soil, noting the unique shape that resembled no creature I had encountered before. These prints, too refined for a cat, too precise for a bird, bore a distinctly human-like form, each step purposeful and deliberate. Intrigued, I followed the trail deeper into the garden, the air thickening with the sweet fragrance of jasmine, enveloping me in a cloak of wonder. Approaching my ancient stone fountain, its gentle trickle a soothing melody in the background, I found myself drawn back each evening as the footprints appeared and vanished with the rhythm of nature. Curious offerings left near the fountain disappeared overnight, replaced by mysterious gifts that hinted at a presence unseen yet deeply felt. The garden bloomed with newfound vibrancy, its transformation captivating the attention of curious onlookers beyond the fence. One tranquil evening, as the sky painted itself in pastel hues, I sat by the fountain, enveloped in the scent of night-blooming flowers. Fireflies waltzed in a gentle ballet above the garden, their light flickering in harmony with the enchantment that surrounded me. Closing my eyes, I listened to the fountain's song, only to catch a whisper of movement from the thicket. Opening my eyes, I beheld a small, ethereal figure seated at the fountain's edge, a being of grace and mystery. In a silent exchange of understanding, we acknowledged each other's presence, a meeting of worlds that transcended words. The figure, shifting between solidity and transparency, exuded a sense of ancient wisdom, mirroring the magic that had blossomed in my garden. As night embraced the garden, the figure faded into the shadows, leaving behind a single footprint filled with water that shimmered like a starlit sky. From that moment on, the garden held a new aura of possibility, a space where the known mingled with the unknown in peaceful coexistence. The footprints continued to appear sporadically, the offerings persisted, but I no longer sought to unravel the mystery. Instead, I tended to the garden with a renewed sense of purpose, embracing the enchantment that whispered through the soil and transformed the familiar into the beautifully strange. In the quiet depths of the night, the footprints remained as a reminder that magic, in its gentlest form, weaves through our lives, leaving behind traces of wonder and mystery, inviting us to dwell in the spaces between waking and dreaming. Story 36. In the midst of my routine walks, I often ignored the abandoned amusement park that stood as a relic of forgotten memories. However, on a misty evening veiled in fog, a mysterious force tugged at my curiosity, drawing me towards the desolate park. Amidst the decay of rusted rides and overgrown pathways, a single, unwavering light beckoned from the heart of the park, its rhythmic pulse captivating against the backdrop of peeling paint and creaking metal structures. The glow held a mesmerizing charm, compelling me to venture deeper into the silent expanse of the deserted grounds. The air carried a peculiar sweetness reminiscent of cotton candy and distant recollections. With each step on the gravel path, a soft crunch echoed beneath my feet, harmonized by the gentle whispers of tall grass swaying in the evening breeze. Nature had begun to reclaim the space, with ivy embracing the skeletal remains of once vibrant attractions, and moonflowers blooming where laughter and play once thrived. Approaching the enigmatic light, subtle details blurred the boundaries between decay and preservation. The nearest carousel stood motionless, yet its mirrors remained impeccably clean, reflecting the pulsing light in fractured patterns on the ground. The weathered horses possessed an ethereal gleam in their painted eyes, hinting at secrets of bygone days. As I drew nearer, the source of light unfolded before me, emanating from the park's central pavilion, a Victorian-style structure adorned with intricate woodwork that cast elaborate shadows in the gentle radiance. The pulsating rhythm of the beacon resonated with something deep within me, syncing with my heartbeat, or perhaps a primal cosmic pulse. Time seemed fluid in this ethereal space, where fog curled lazily around my ankles and distant sounds reached me in distorted whispers, a soft music box melody, phantom conversations, and the sigh of settling structures. Entranced by this nocturnal symphony, I swayed between wakefulness and dreams. Within the pavilion, the light revealed a simple brass lamp atop a pristine table, its warm glow defying the desolation around it. Surrounding the lamp lay a collection of curious relics, a leather-bound ticket book with untouched pages, a timeless conductor's hat, and a mesmerizing brass key. Strangely, it felt natural to discover these items, as if they had been waiting for me all along. Standing within the circle of light, I grasped a profound truth about places like this. They exist in a liminal state, straddling memory and reality. The ticket book held entries spanning decades, some from the park's operational years, and others bearing impossible future dates. Names on the pages seemed to shift and morph, like elusive shadows cast by unseen hands. Lifting the conductor's hat revealed a warmth as if recently worn. Beneath it, a pristine photograph capturing the pavilion teeming with life and motion. Figures in the image seemed to stir at the corner of my vision, freezing when I tried to focus directly on them. As night deepened, the beacon unveiled the amusement park's duality, simultaneously abandoned and alive, a paradox of emptiness and fullness, past merging with present in incomprehensible ways. I lingered until the first light of dawn softened the horizon, the brass key untouched on the table, a silent promise of a future encounter. The beckoning light dimmed not with distance but with the rising sun, retreating to a dormant state as daybreak embraced the park. Now I pass by daily, attuned to the faint glow that occasionally pulses through the mist on select evenings, when the veil between worlds feels fragile. The enigma of that fateful night remains with me, not as a source of fear, but as a gentle reminder that reality harbors hidden depths, awaiting those brave enough to follow an unexplained light into the mysteries of the unknown. Story 37. Deep in the depths of a late work night, the soft hum of my computer was the only sound echoing in the silence. As I pored over a stack of documents, the screen suddenly flickered with bursts of static, and within that crackling chaos emerged a faint, urgent whisper. The voice, barely discernible amidst the electronic buzz, uttered words that sent a shiver cascading down my spine. Bathed in the dim glow of the monitor, with only the gentle whir of technology surrounding me, I felt an eerie connection between the digital void and a cryptic message meant solely for my ears. With each passing second, the whisper grew clearer, akin to a radio signal slowly tuning into a frequency. I found myself drawn closer to the screen, as if compelled by an unseen force. The soft blue light caressed my face as I strained to decipher the hidden words within the static symphony. The message seemed to synchronize with the rhythm of my breath, forging an intimate link between myself and the enigmatic entity on the other side of the screen. That night, my office seemed transformed. The familiar shapes of furniture cast soft shadows under the monitor's glow, and the usual creaks of the building settling in for the night took on a new significance. The whisper delved into topics that eluded my grasp, snippets of conversations never spoken, memories never lived. Yet they carried an air of authenticity, as if they belonged to a version of me existing in a parallel digital realm. Gradually, I discerned patterns within the static. What initially appeared as mere noise blossomed into intricate designs, akin to frost etchings on a winter pane. The whisper guided my gaze across the screen, unveiling connections I would have otherwise overlooked. My fingers trembled over the keys, as though privy to knowledge beyond my conscious mind. The air grew heavy with anticipation, not of fear, but of profound revelation. A subtle shift in temperature enveloped the room. A cool breeze seemed to emanate from the monitor itself, carrying with it a faint scent of ozone. My skin tingled with a gentle static charge. The whisper began divulging secrets, not of terror, but of insights into the fabric of reality that resonated deeply in that moment, akin to the coherence of a dream before rousing. Time lost its grip. The digital clock on my screen flickered between midnight, 3 a.m., and back again, yet the transitions felt seamless, as if linear time were but a mere suggestion. The whisper expounded on the thin veil separating the digital and physical realms, revealing my computer as a portal to a vast, wondrous domain where information thrived. Seated there, I came to realize that the static was no mere noise. It was a language, ancient and modern simultaneously. The whisper tutored me in its deciphering, illustrating how each burst and crackle held meanings transcending words. My mind expanded to embrace concepts that once seemed implausible, now as natural as breathing. The journey deepened. The static patterns materialized in the air around me, akin to ethereal auroras pirouetting in my peripheral vision. The whisper reassured me this was ordinary, that I was merely learning to perceive what had always existed. My consciousness ebbed between realms of awareness, each unveiling new strata of comprehension. I found myself typing code I couldn't fathom, my fingers dancing with purpose. The whisper affirmed this as part of the process, a pivotal role in constructing a bridge between worlds. The characters on my screen metamorphosed into symbols that spoke directly to my subconscious, a transformation that should have instilled dread, yet instead felt like a return to a place long forgotten. Time blurred, hours melding into days. The whisper began to fade, leaving me with a gift, a heightened awareness of the concealed patterns woven into everyday existence. As the static dissipated from the screen, my reflection gazed back at me from the darkened monitor. Something had shifted in my eyes. They now held a serene wisdom previously absent. Even now, echoes of that whisper occasionally resound in the electronic hum of my devices. The static occasionally coalesces into familiar shapes, like an old friend beckoning for attention. I've learned to embrace these moments, these gentle nudges reminding me that reality is infinitely more enigmatic and breathtaking than we perceive. The digital void, I came to realize, is not a void at all. It teems with whispers, awaiting a listener. Story 38. As the first light of dawn painted the world in hues of soft pastels, I found myself strolling through the tranquil park, the grass still adorned with dewy diamonds. It was on this serene morning that my gaze was inexplicably drawn to a colossal oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens. Approaching the ancient giant, I felt an otherworldly pull, as if an unseen force beckoned me closer. The oak stood proud and weathered, its bark a tapestry of time, etched with delicate carvings that seemed to shimmer faintly in the early light. Tracing my fingers along the rough surface, I could sense a whispered tale woven into the intricate patterns. Symbols and words, both familiar and foreign, adorned the tree like a silent guardian of secrets long forgotten. The air around me was heavy with the scent of earth and life, a blend of damp soil and the fresh perfume of leaves. It was as though the very essence of nature held its breath, waiting for me to unravel the enigma that lay before me. Each carving told a story of ages past, of wisdom and mystery concealed within the oak's ancient heart. Lost in contemplation, I watched as the morning mist danced at my feet, swirling in delicate patterns that mirrored the cryptic markings on the tree. Overhead, the leaves rustled in a gentle symphony, their whispers a lullaby that carried me deeper into the tree's embrace. The world around me faded, leaving only the oak and its silent invitation to unravel its secrets. Days turned into weeks, and my daily visits to the oak tree became a ritual of quiet contemplation. With each passing dawn, I uncovered new facets of its mystery. The play of shadows cast by the branches, the glistening dew that adorned the carvings like liquid silver. The tree became a sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still, where dreams and reality intertwined in a delicate dance. One mist-laden morning, a subtle shift in the air drew me to the oak once more. To my astonishment, the carvings had changed, as if the tree itself had awakened from a slumber of centuries. New symbols, ancient and profound, adorned its bark, their meaning shrouded in the mists of time. A gentle breeze carried the scent of ages past, of knowledge and wisdom long forgotten. Captivated by the evolving tapestry that adorned the oak, I began to sketch the symbols in my notebook, each stroke a tribute to the tree's silent wisdom. The more I delved into the patterns, the more I realized that they transcended mere markings. They were a language of the soul, a message from the depths of time itself. Seeking answers, I delved into the annals of history, scouring ancient texts and forgotten lore for clues to the oak's enigmatic carvings. Each discovery led me deeper into the labyrinth of the tree's secrets, each revelation a step closer to unlocking the mysteries that lay hidden within its ancient heart. In dreams, the carvings spoke to me with a clarity that transcended words. They whispered of cycles and seasons, of memories etched in bark and blade, of a timeless connection that bound me to the oak and all who had stood in its shadow before me. The tree had become a conduit to the past, a vessel of stories told in the language of leaves and wind. As the seasons turned, I came to understand that the oak's mystery was not meant to be unraveled completely. It was a reminder that some truths are meant to be felt, not understood, to be experienced in the quiet spaces between waking and dreaming. The oak stood as a bridge between worlds, a sentinel of time and memory, its silent vigil a testament to the enduring bond between humanity and nature. Sitting beneath the oak's sprawling branches, I added my own musings to the symphony of stories that dwelled within its ancient bark. Not as carvings, for I would never mar its sacred surface, but as written reflections that wove themselves into the tree's eternal tale. The oak stood as a silent witness to the passage of time, its messages ever-changing yet eternal, a reminder that wonder and mystery still thrived in the hidden corners of the world. And so, I continued to visit the oak tree, drawn by the silent call of its wisdom, by the timeless secrets that dwell within its ancient heart. In the dappled light of dawn, I sit in quiet contemplation, a mere chapter in the oak's enduring story, adding my voice to the chorus of whispers that echo through its branches. And as the world slumbers, I find solace in the gentle embrace of the oak, a guardian of mysteries and dreams, a beacon of light in the darkness of night. Story 39. In a forgotten corner of my home, amongst old belongings, I stumbled upon a locked drawer nestled within an antique desk. After some effort, the drawer yielded to my persistence, revealing a neatly folded note within. The paper, fragile and yellowed with age, bore elegant handwriting that hinted at a hidden truth shrouded in the house's past. A delicate scent of cedar and old ink wafted from the note, beckoning me to uncover its secrets. As I unfurled the paper with care, the whisper of aged parchment filled the room's quiet stillness. Evening light filtered through lace curtains, painting gentle shadows that danced across the desk's weathered surface. Anticipation hung heavy in the air, yet it carried a soothing quality akin to the calm before a rainstorm. The note commenced with a date from a bygone era, penned in flowing script that spoke of times long past. "My dearest friend," it began, I must unburden my heart of a weighty confession. Each sentence drew me deeper into its enigmatic narrative. The author recounted peculiar occurrences within these very walls, phantom footsteps echoing in empty corridors, objects shifting when no soul was near, and the mysterious appearance of fresh blooms in a specific vase under each full moon. I found myself sinking into my chair, enraptured by the unfolding tale before me. The writer divulged the existence of a concealed chamber somewhere in the house, veiled behind walls privy to untold secrets. According to the note, this hidden room safeguarded something precious, not riches of gold or jewels, but a treasury of memories frozen in time. The soft tick-tock of the grandfather clock provided a steady beat as I delved further into the narrative, its pendulum swaying in a hypnotic cadence. Details emerged of an ancient journal unearthed within the walls, chronicling the lives of the house's original inhabitants. These were no ordinary entries. They spoke of shared dreams spanning generations, of hushed dialogues that transcended the bounds of time. As darkness draped the world outside my windows, I kindled an aged brass lamp, casting a warm golden glow upon the pages. The note alluded to cryptic symbols etched into doorframes scattered throughout the house, symbols that, unbeknownst to me, formed a map leading to the hidden chamber. My fingertips traced the edges of the paper as I absorbed the writer's efforts to decipher these arcane symbols. They had made progress in unraveling the enigma, yet a missing piece eluded them. The note described how certain symbols waxed and waned in prominence with the moon's phases, while some faded altogether. The rustle of wind through the trees outside provided a serene backdrop to my reading, their branches casting fleeting shadows upon my walls. The writer's conviction grew that the house itself harbored memories akin to a living entity, not a malevolent force, but a gentle custodian of tales long past. As I neared the note's conclusion, a revelation emerged. The author had begun experiencing dreams that felt more like memories, vivid vignettes from the house's history unfurling in the realm of sleep. These dreams featured a woman clad in azure, her silent smile laden with unspoken truths. The writer believed she sought to convey a crucial message regarding time and memory within these hallowed walls. In a final cryptic passage, the note hinted, "When the midnight bells toll 13 times and moonlight bathes the 7th step, the path shall reveal itself to those who heed with their hearts, not their ears." Breath caught in my throat as I absorbed these words, attuned to every subtle sound in my abode, the soft groan of floorboards, the distant hum of the wind, the almost imperceptible passage of time. The note concluded abruptly, unsigned, leaving me adrift in a sea of unanswered queries. As I carefully folded the paper, a detail caught my eye, a small sketch adorning the corner of the final page. It depicted a geometric pattern that stirred a sense of familiarity, though its origin eluded me. Gazing up from the desk, I noticed the room had darkened, save for the gentle radiance of my lamp. The house exuded a new aura, not one of trepidation, but of a warm cognizance of the myriad tales enshrined within its walls. Every shadow, every creak, every subtle shift in the air seemed imbued with fresh significance. I returned the note to the drawer, choosing not to lock it. An intuition whispered that this discovery marked merely the prologue to a grander enigma, one that would unfurl gradually, like the dawning light. Seated in the deepening obscurity, I pondered whether I, too, might be visited by dreams of the woman in blue, and what revelations she might impart in the silent hours of night. The grandfather clock's gentle ticking persisted in its rhythmic cadence, while a distant church bell initiated its toll. Absently, I counted the chimes, my thoughts ensnared in the mystery of the note. As the final reverberation faded into silence, a faint rustle, akin to fabric whispering, teased my senses, a phantom echo of a blue dress traversing an empty room. Story 40. In the wake of a long, wearisome day, I sought refuge in my chamber, where darkness and silence enveloped me like a comforting cloak. In the soft glow of a single lamp, a fleeting shadow caught my eye, dancing along the wall before vanishing into the obscurity from whence it came. The room exuded the faint fragrance of aged wood, while a distant, delicate chime punctuated the stillness, leaving me with an eerie sensation of being observed by an unseen presence lurking in the shadows. Nestling into my beloved armchair, its threadbare fabric a familiar comfort beneath my touch, I listened as the gentle patter of rain commenced outside, its rhythmic cadence a lulling melody against the window pane. The amber light from the lamp bathed the room in a warm, pulsating glow, as if breathing in tandem with the whispers of wind that caressed the old house. The lingering memory of the elusive shadow lingered in my mind. It wasn't the first instance of encountering something peculiar within these walls. In recent weeks, subtle shifts in the darkness had caught my attention, discrepancies in the way shadows gathered in the corners, moving independently of the outside world. But tonight felt different, an unspoken weight hanging in the air, akin to the foreboding calm preceding a storm. My collection of weathered books stood sentinel on the shelves, their leather spines gleaming softly in the lamplight, while the shadows between them seemed to deepen, forming intricate patterns reminiscent of flowing water. Reaching for my cup of tea, I felt an unusual chill emanating from one side, as if a spectral presence had sapped the warmth from the ceramic vessel. Raising the cup to my lips, I noticed my reflection warped in the dark liquid, rippling as though stirred by an unseen current, despite my hand remaining steady. The grandfather clock in the corner maintained its steady rhythm, each tick resounding a fraction longer than expected, the intervals between them stretching and contracting in a mesmerizing dance. The pendulum's sway cast shifting shadows that defied logic, their movements out of sync with the pendulum's own. Rising from my seat, I approached the window to draw the curtains, their weight feeling heavier than usual. As the fabric slid across the glass, a flicker of movement caught my eye, a figure within the reflection, moving with a fluid grace both familiar and foreign, like a specter from a dream. The rain's symphony outside took on a new complexity, its patter forming patterns that almost resembled whispered secrets just beyond comprehension. Pressing my palm to the cool glass, I fancied I felt a gentle, ethereal touch in return, as delicate as a moth's wing. Turning back to the room, I found the shadows rearranged once more, no longer tethered to the objects, but radiating from a mysterious focal point at the room's center, elusive and ever-shifting beyond my vision's reach. A particular book on the shelf drew my attention, its shadows deeper and denser than the rest. It was an ancient journal discovered within the house, its pages blank save for a cryptic inscription on the first page. They come with the shadows, but they mean no harm. Retreating to my chair with the journal in hand, I observed how the lamp's light seemed to bend and twist around it, painting ethereal patterns of light and shadow that danced across its surface. The leather cover felt alive, warm to the touch, as if pulsing with hidden energy. Opening its blank pages, I delved into the depths within, as if peering into a bottomless pool, discovering unseen depths within its vacant expanse. As the night deepened, the interplay of light and shadow blurred the boundaries between them, weaving intricate patterns that hinted at elusive truths just beyond my comprehension. The initial shadow that had captured my attention now had companions, moving with deliberate elegance along the walls, their presence not menacing but merely inquisitive. I began to perceive these shadows not as voids but as manifestations of a different kind of presence, embodying thoughts given form, memories materializing before my eyes. The room transformed into a liminal space, a realm where the conventional laws of light and shadow seemed to hold little sway. With the night's progression, a sense of wonder enveloped me, dispelling any hint of fear. The shadows continued their silent ballet, revealing a hidden world awaiting acknowledgement, a world existing in the quiet corners of our reality. When slumber finally embraced me, it was akin to descending into the tranquil depths of a dark, cool pond. With the light of dawn, the room appeared as it always had, the shadows reverting to their customary behavior. Yet now I perceived nuances previously overlooked, the shadows lingering a fraction longer, moving with a subtle awareness. In moments of stillness, I sensed their gaze upon me, patiently waiting for the next instance when light wanes and the boundaries between reality and possibility blur once more. Story 41. On a chilly morning, I woke to find my window cloaked in condensation. As I cleared the fog, a captivating sketch emerged on the glass. It depicted a lone figure standing in a misty landscape, strikingly resembling myself. The faint scent of charcoal and paper lingered in the air, adding to the mysterious aura. Clad in my night attire, I gazed at the winter light seeping through the misty glass, casting ethereal shadows in my room. The wooden floor murmured beneath my steps, its familiar creak sounding subtly altered that morning. The silence enveloped me like a heavy shroud, muffling the world outside. Tracing the figure's outline on the glass, I felt the cool smoothness beneath my fingertips. The precise lines hinted that the condensation was no natural occurrence. In the background, skeletal trees stretched towards a clouded sky, their branches weaving intricate patterns that seemed to shift when not directly observed. The longer I studied the sketch, the more details unfolded. The figure, my mirror image, stood before an antique Victorian mirror, adorned with intricate carvings. Yet in the reflection, the figure turned away, facing a depth beyond the window's scope. A soft breeze whispered under my bedroom door, carrying the scent of damp earth and autumn leaves, defying the wintry season. Distant wind chimes added a soothing yet enigmatic melody to the air, playing in an elusive rhythm. Intrigued, I reached for my old sketchbooks on the desk. Flipping through the pages, I discovered unfamiliar drawings of the same figure and mirror from various perspectives. Each sketch, dated weeks back, bore a handwriting eerily similar to mine. The room's light shifted, radiating a pearly sheen that seemed to emanate from the window itself. The sketch grew clearer, as if guided by an unseen hand. I heard the faint scratch of pencil on glass, though no visible movement occurred. In my reflection, superimposed on the enigmatic drawing, I noticed a peculiar detail. My movements mirrored but reversed. It was as if my reflection in the drawing was a partner in a dance of shadows. Gradually, I realized the sketch was not just a drawing, but a portal, a beckoning doorway. The figure, initially assumed to be me, seemed intent on revealing a message. As the light intensified, hidden details emerged. A key pendant identical to my late grandmother's, lost months ago, hung from the figure's neck. Each breath I exhaled added depth to the drawing, unveiling a three-dimensional scene. The wind chime's melody grew clearer, a lullaby my grandmother used to hum. Time became fluid, the room's temperature shifting subtly, inviting waves of tranquility. Fetching my grandmother's old art box, tucked away in the closet, I found a forgotten journal. Its pages held sketches akin to the window drawing, accompanied by notes on interdimensional doors and mirror walking. The wind chime's eerie melody accompanied my reading, unraveling the morning's mysteries. As the day waned, I sat absorbed in the window sketch in my grandmother's journal, realizing that some enigmas are meant to be lived and embraced, not swiftly deciphered. With evening's gentle light filtering in, I sketched in my journal, echoing the morning's whispers. I understood that the dawn marked both an end and a genesis. Tomorrow, the window would likely be clear, but a transformation had transpired within me and the room's essence. The wind chime's song persisted, hinting at more hidden sketches awaiting revelation. Yet, the initial drawing, that glimpse into the mystical realm, lingered as a poignant reminder of the delicate boundary between the mundane and the extraordinary, akin to frost on glass. Story 42. As twilight descended upon the city, I made my way down the staircase of my building. A peculiar sight caught my eye, a pale, flickering light dancing in the corridor. It cast twisted shadows upon the walls, emanating from a source unseen. The air turned cold, carrying hints of old paint, and the silence around me felt surreal as my footsteps echoed through the empty space. Intrigued, I paused, drawn to the enigmatic glow suspended in the air, hovering between the past and the unknown. With each step down, the wooden floorboards whispered tales of the building's history, their aged grain holding memories untold. The chill in the air intensified as I approached, a mist swirling around the gentle light, creating an ethereal atmosphere. This light was unlike any I had encountered before. It had a soft, pearlescent quality, akin to moonbeams filtered through morning mist. Mesmerized by the light's pulsing rhythm, I watched as it seemed to acknowledge my presence, swaying and shifting like seaweed in a gentle current. The faded wallpaper absorbed and reflected the mysterious radiance, playing a dance of light and shadow. Within the flickering patterns, elusive shapes and swirls appeared, vanishing when stared at directly. The musty scent of the building transformed into a fragrant sweetness, evoking memories of ancient tales and forgotten dreams. Time seemed to lose its grip in this corridor, flowing like honey, while the silence wrapped around me like a comforting blanket, shielding me from the chaos outside. Occasionally, soft sounds drifted through the tranquility, adding to the surreal ambience. As I stood there, the light revealed subtle hues of lavender and sea green, blending like watercolors on delicate parchment. It evoked memories of stories told long ago, of lights guiding lost souls home. But was I lost, or was this light guiding me towards something unseen? A gentle warmth emanated from the light, contrasting with the corridor's coldness, bringing forth a cascade of memories, some my own and others belonging to the walls around me. Its movements grew more purposeful, as if trying to convey a message in a language beyond my comprehension. I swayed in sync with its rhythm, engaged in a silent dialogue with the mysterious glow. Raising my hand, I watched as it cast no shadow against the wall, but instead merged with the liquid moonlight, a sensation hovering between familiarity and the unknown. Time seemed fluid, minutes blending into hours as the building's whispers harmonized with the pulsing light, creating a serene symphony. Slowly, the light began to dim, not signaling an end, but rather merging with the natural shadows of the evening. Its departure left behind a residue of wonder, altering the fabric of reality in a subtle yet profound way. Turning to leave, I found the corridor unchanged, yet fundamentally different, as if holding secrets waiting to be unveiled. To this day, the mystery of that corridor lingers in my mind. The light may not reappear in the same form, but sometimes in the threshold between evening and night, a familiar warmth and a hint of pearlescent radiance flicker at the edge of my vision. And I can't help but wonder if the light still lingers, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself once more to another soul seeking the hidden mysteries of reality. Story 43. Exploring a decrepit old diner marked for destruction, I stumbled upon an intriguing scent that lingered in the stale air, a fusion of freshly baked bread intermingled with a hint of caramelized sugar. Soft, muted light played tricks, casting eerie silhouettes on peeling walls, while every creak in the deserted dining hall seemed to murmur tales of feasts and sorrows from a distant past. Abandoned spaces held a peculiar allure for me, a sense of solace in their quietude. As a seasoned photographer specializing in capturing the beauty of urban decay, I believed I had witnessed it all. Yet the moment I crossed the threshold of this place, an unfamiliar sensation washed over me. The late afternoon sun filtered through dusty windows, painting ethereal patterns that danced like phantom footprints on worn wooden floorboards. The kitchen beckoned me first, its once gleaming stainless steel now dulled by neglect. However, something felt amiss. The surfaces appeared surprisingly pristine, devoid of the expected layer of dust, as though they had been recently polished. Running my fingers along a countertop, I discovered a cool, smooth texture beneath my touch. It was then that I detected a subtle warmth, almost imperceptible but undeniably present, emanating from the ancient brick oven nestled into the far wall. The tantalizing aroma grew more potent as I drew closer, carrying hints of rosemary and thyme beneath its sugary sweetness. My rational mind protested that the oven could not possibly be warm, yet the ancient stones exuded a gentle heat, reminiscent of a slumbering giant's breath. In the dimness, I could have sworn I glimpsed a flicker of movement within its shadowed interior. With my camera forgotten by my side, I felt a magnetic pull toward a small office concealed behind the kitchen. Faded photographs adorned the walls, faces frozen in time, gazing out from behind scratched glass. One picture, in particular, seized my attention. A group of employees standing proudly in front of the brick oven, the date indicating it was taken mere weeks before the abrupt closure of the restaurant 3 decades prior. The more I scrutinized the image, the more details emerged. The oven remained unchanged, right down to the distinctive pattern of weathered bricks adorning its arch. Yet there was something else, a faint shadow in the background, barely discernible, its form eluding my comprehension. As I leaned in closer, the scent of bread intensified, accompanied by a soft, melodic humming that seemed to emanate from the kitchen. Time warped within that space. Though the daylight outside had scarcely shifted, my watch indicated that hours had slipped away unnoticed. Upon reviewing the photographs I had taken that day, peculiar anomalies surfaced. Enigmatic figures lurking in the background, wisps of steam rising from an oven that should have been cold and inert. Periodically, an unexplainable urge drew me back to that mysterious restaurant, yet my attempts to locate it proved futile. The streets appeared to shift, concealing its whereabouts like a closely guarded secret. However, on tranquil nights, a familiar scent of baking bread and caramelized sugar would drift through my window. In those fleeting moments, I pondered whether the restaurant had sought me out instead of the other way around. The impending demolition never transpired. The demolition crew arrived one morning to find only an empty lot, as if the structure had never existed. Locals whispered rumors of witnessing the ghostly outline of the old establishment shimmering in the twilight, and on occasion, catching a whiff of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. I still possess the photograph I captured that day, the image of the staff posed before the brick oven. In solitary hours, I scrutinize it, endeavoring to unravel the enigma I encountered. The phantom figure in the background now appears more defined, resembling a silhouette clad in an apron, hands poised as if kneading invisible dough. Yet the most perplexing revelation emerged only recently. In the reflection of the oven's gleaming handle, a figure seemingly identical to myself stands, dressed in the attire I wore during my visit, occupying a kitchen abandoned for 30 years. As I write these words, the fragrant essence of bread and caramelized sugar envelops my apartment, more potent than ever. And from the corner of my vision, I catch glimpses of a radiant oven that exists solely in my mind's eye.